And we are back, but first, final shout out for John Barnett Cancer Fundraiser Tournament out at BAM Arena, June 8th. Be there or be square, hosted by Cleveland Cornhole, putting on a great tournament for a great cause. So if you got nothing going on, head on out to BAM Arena in Strongsville, Ohio, June 8th for the John Barnett Cancer Fundraiser. And soon, we are quickly encroaching on the registration opening.
June 10th?
For the Big Asp Open. I didn't have the rap horn ready, but that's all right. Oversight. Anyways, Big Asp Open. Guys, we keep telling you it's going to be an absolute blast. It's a combination of Topgolf and Cornhole. You're going to be fed, not once, but twice. So you're going to have breakfast. You're going to have lunch. You're going to have drinks available everywhere. You're going to have fun with the boys or girls. Just get your squad together.
And this is a rain or shine event.
Rain or shine.
We have contingency plans lined up.
We will be all set. And I just want everyone to join us on this fun little tourney that we're going to do, man. It's I'm looking forward to it very much. So, yeah, if you're interested, again, June 10th, we will be opening up registration for the Big Asp Open.
And we have a cap for teams, so please, if you're interested, register early. You'll register on the site. We'll post a link. It's going to take you to the Hard Drag Push website, and we have a registration page. One person from that team is going to be responsible for registering. You can have multiple people register. That's fine. But on there, you're going to put your teammates' names down, and then an email address. And then from there, you're going to receive an email with all the instructions for payment, just basically day of the event kind of stuff.
Yep.
So June 10th, be ready.
Be there. Be square.
I mean, this could sell out in 30 minutes. We just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just trying to get everyone prepared. And once we sell out, guys, like that's it. We do have to cap it. So again, be ready.
Only 100 teams. Only 100 teams.
100 teams max. So yeah, we're again very much looking forward to it. The tournament itself is taking place September 21st at Topgolf in Independence, Ohio. Just a short drive from downtown Cleveland. And yeah, if you're coming from out of town, we will have information on blocks of rooms very soon. So we will get you all that information, and let's get ready for it.
Let's do it.
Without further ado, it's time to rock.
Cornhole it. Big ass cornhole. We hope you throw it straight. And nothing but four-baggers from here on out.
All right, welcome back to yet another episode of the Big Asp Cornhole podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
What's happening?
Nothing, dude. Just been a busy weekend.
Yes, I mean Memorial always is
holiday
weekend,
man. It's just been busy as hell. So, it's okay. So we have like a crazy few days ahead of us of recording
Sean,
stuff.
There's another national
bunch of stuff
already
just sneaking up, just right up on us. So before we get anything, Dane, let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called "What You Drinking."
What you drinking?
Well, I am. I had a long weekend of drinking in the evening times. Enjoying many Southern Tier beers. Their new Citrafog was my favorite beer of choice. Nice. Loved it. But right now, I'm just drinking some water.
Yeah.
Monday recovery after a long weekend. Sean, you have the Body Armor Strawberry Grape, which is a combo not many would think is good, but I've actually had it.
Dude, the Mamba Forever
I do like
bottle,
it.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous bottle, so we're just staying hydrated today.
Yeah, I had a few Miller Lights last night. Yeah. Had a little Memorial Day party, so just it felt like today's back to the grind, as they call it, tomorrow.
Yeah, I probably crushed a solid 12-pack in just craft beer between going to Southern Tier and starting drinking at like 2:00. Yeah, it was a good day. It's a good day.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. But feel fine today. Just need a little water.
I get it.
And also didn't have time to stop at the store. Like
fair.
So
that's fair.
Here we are. Oh well.
Fair. Is it sponsored by anybody?
No.
Like Draggin Bags or anything? No?
Not yet.
Okay. No? You want to do it later? Or?
Yeah, I do want to do it later,
okay.
Sean.
All right, we'll get to that later. All right. So we have audio gold, lots of it planned for you over the next few episodes here. this episode, we're going to preview the national championship. The third one is sneaking up on us. So we're going to do kind of like a preview episode with that. We always do our typical pre-national draft. So we're bringing back Corndoug. All right, Doug Coombs from the Down and Back Cornhole podcast. And then we're also bringing on former ACL pro Drew Brown.
Heck yeah.
All right, so Drew Brown's one of our favorite dudes. He was an early guest on the show. He's been on once or twice. I think he's been on twice.
I think it's twice now.
So really knowledgeable guy, knows the players. We liked bringing on people who know the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give a little competition. We have dramatic readings,
that we
obviously.
Do. Of course.
And then we have a bunch of interviews lined up, all right? So we have, after this, depending on the length of all this stuff, we might decide to cut some of it up, or you might hear an interview with Tony Forbes and Brent Loghry, who is the owner of Brotherhood, or that might drop early next week. We haven't quite decided how we're going to break it up. It's gonna be a bunch of timing thing, but we also have an interview planned with Team Ultra. All right, Mark Pryor, coming out of the shadows, is going to be joining us, along with two of his studs, Jeremiah Ellis, Devin Harbaugh, and the man behind the scenes. All right, that handles a lot of his stuff for him, Rich Norman. So it's going to be a fun episode. So that's going to drop. That'll be our next Wednesday's episode, because I'm actually going to be out of town. We're taking the kids to Disney World, so I'm going to be out of town.
You'll be wishing upon a star.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be out of commission all next week. So we're getting a bunch of content together this week. So next week's episode is not going to be a recap of National. I won't be there.
Yeah,
that'll be the following week. So we'll be a week behind on that stuff. But you will have an awesome conversation with Team Ultra over there.
Hell yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Hell yeah.
And I hope you enjoy Disney World.
Thanks, man.
And this pre-rant was brought to us by Draggin Bags.
Hell yeah.
The greatest bag makers in all the land. I can't say enough, dude, about the Power Dragon. I know we harp on it all the time, but the more I throw it, the more I love it, which is usually the exact opposite in a bag when I get to it. Like, once it gets more broken in, I tend to fade away, but not the Power Dragon. I've also been dabbling with a few other series. I'm starting to go back into the faster realm as well. So just be on the lookout, man. If you're that type of thrower that doesn't know quite what speed you're looking for, every single bag at Draggin Bags Arsenal is going to get you put in the perfect place. So head on over to dragginbags.com, drop code BIGASP12 at checkout, and save yourself some money today.
My SPR has improved by 8 points since I started throwing.
Same here. Same here.
And again, if that's a great metric to use, right? Just overall improvement.
Yeah.
I'm winning more games.
And you're throwing less.
Yeah. I really.
It's the equipment, baby. All right. Just go over to Draggin Bags. Code BIGASP12.
Dane cut me off before I could go in and around the hole, but you've heard the soundbite enough. All right. So, but this is also brought to you by Black Sheep Baggers. All right. If you're in the market for a new set of bags and you haven't tried them out yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. They have a bag for every single kind of thrower. They're kind of known for like a smaller template, slightly fuller bag, but then they just busted out their new hybrid carpet bag called the Gotti, slightly bigger template. So if you're a fan of like the Viper R or something, but you're looking for something a little different, you want a different feel in your hand, check out the Gotti from Black Sheep Baggers.
Hell yeah.
All right. Embrace that. Go to blacksheepbaggers.com. And if you use code BIGASP, you're going to save yourself some money. So again, go to blacksheepbaggers.com, use code BIGASP, and you'll save yourself some money.
It's now time for us to go over what's going on in our cornhole lives.
Yeah.
In our favorite segment called In and Around the Hole.
Boom.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Dane just like got all excited about the Draggin Bag read and I'm like, I'm just gonna let it flow.
I was gonna chop it up
listen.
in between and have you say. I was hoping you'd say that in between.
Just keeping people on their toes.
Exactly.
I like that.
You know, you can't have it just the same old like order all the time.
So how was your weekend?
It was busy.
Yeah.
At the lake house, the family, getting everything ready to go for the summertime. It's just a work weekend. Luckily, we were able to bust through pretty much everything, with the exception of getting our last boat canopy up on Saturday. So we had a beautiful Sunday all day. Perfect weather. Got the boats out. Drank a little bit. Just kind of hung out and enjoyed the lake on Sunday. But, Saturday was the work one. Drove home today. It was kind of shitty weather, so not much going on. Yeah. But all in all, I'm a little sore. Just had to do a lot of carrying and lifting stuff. And
I get that.
Dragging sailboats. And, it's it takes it out of you. But it's all done, so now we're ready to enjoy the summer.
Sweet.
And it's just, it marks, like, I love Memorial Day because it just marks summer times here.
Like the outdoor stuff season is here.
Like
I get that.
That's what I live for. So it's back to golfing twice a week and, just living life to its best. I
did get to golf.
Yes, you did.
I did. Me and Dad. Rarely do I ever go golfing, just me and Dad.
Yeah.
Like it's rare. So I can't even remember last time like just Dad and I went out golfing. But we went out, played Cossack Creek, which is like course around here. I mean, it's okay. It's a pretty decent course. Front nine's pretty easy. It's pretty wide open. I drove the ball better than I ever have in my entire life. Like I actually had the ball like in the fairway almost. Like
some seeds out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, just really drove the ball well. And then finally on the front nine, I hit my irons. Fantastic. Because for a while I'm like, shit. Like, did I make a mistake making this purchase? But then I'm like, oh no, everything came together and I was playing great. Shot a legit 41 on the front. Probably should have been like a 38, but my chipping was horrendous. And like I would just experimenting putting around, like different things. But she played really well on the front. The back nine, I was great up until like 14. Then just felt a little something in the wrist, and again I'm a mental case.
Do you ever wish that you could stop, like you could pay for like 12 holes,
dude? Yes.
Right? Like, just
I got to that point where I looked at Dad by like hole 17. I'm like, this kind of golf makes me not want to play again.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's what it was. But what kept me back was my drive on 18. I'm like, well, fuck me.
Every golfer will tell you on 18, you're going to hit one shot that brings you back the next time. Like, there's no other way. Or when you get back to your car, you forgot all about it and remember the one good one.
And then, so that was Saturday. And so I get back, ended up so my dog is actually having surgery on Tuesday. I had to take her to the vet, and then we had T-ball practice. Like, my Saturday, like, was basically blown. Like, wife and kids weren't even home. Didn't even get to, like, sit down for, like, 30 minutes.
So you had to coach T-ball, and you didn't even have your own kids there. Dude,
correct.
That's some creeper stuff, Sean.
Anyways. And then Sunday, Monday, Val worked.
Yeah. So it was just you and the kids?
Yeah, just me and the kids and just dealing with that. And
are they done with school now? So
Nora is done on Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
So yeah, they're done Thursday. Friday, Val and Nora like getting their nails done and stuff like that.
Ooh,
and then Saturday morning, Mom and Dad are coming to take us to the airport, and we're telling the kids that we're going to Disney World.
Bingo.
And then we're off to Orlando.
Love it.
And then there for a week, and then back home and back to the grind of all that stuff. But so yeah. Besides that, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else I did. I mean, I threw a little bit. It was so nice out. Like, I had to get the boards out.
Yeah, I put the boards out a little bit at the lake and chucked around. I didn't bring my bags, so I was
the problem I have now is like, if I'm outside and it's nice out and like the kids are running around, inevitably I get maybe like 5 minutes of decent throwing before one of the kids wants to play, or you know what I mean, or like like somebody just coming over to bother me. Yeah, it's just it's almost like it does. It's your issue, man. That's and my boards are so fucking heavy. I'm like, is it even worth dragging them out?
You play in your front yard and you welcome those things.
I know.
That's why I play in the backyard with my big old privacy fence, and nobody can see me back there. I'm just tucked away from the world.
I don't have a great spot in my backyard to throw, though.
You really don't, because you have like things like trees that get in the way, and I don't have those.
I'm still trying to convince my wife to let me turn like the side of our house just into like a cornhole.
Dude, honestly, if you just run, I was also thinking like just run a big deck over that back area that turns into a swamp anyways. Just deck that in, and like you just put tables and chairs on it. Or take all of it off.
I want so like
cornhole.
When you're looking at my backyard, like where our patio is right now, and where I have my grill, I want to just put all concrete all the way up into like my shed. Mm-hmm. We don't do fucking shit with that part of my yard, anyways.
Yeah,
I'd rather it be used for like entertainment and stuff. Put a TV up out there. I don't know stuff. All homeowner stuff.
Yeah, just the fun stuff.
So, can I ask you a completely random question that just kind of popped in my head this week?
Of course.
Where in like the hierarchy of food, like where does a cinnamon roll live?
Like,
does it live in like the world of donuts, or does it like the planet of cakes? Like where does it fall? Where does a cinnamon roll fall?
I mean, it's definitely in like the pastry realm.
Okay.
I don't think.
Would you put a cinnamon roll in like a Danish from the same place? I feel like they're different.
They are different. But again, like we're getting to the same conversation that we always have about the hot dog. Like I always say that, yes, there's sandwich at the top tier. Okay. It branches off into a million different little things.
What top tier does a cinnamon roll fall under,
pastry.
I feel like pastry is very, very broad, though.
But so is a sandwich.
Okay.
See, that's my thought process behind it. A sandwich is a broad term.
But again, I don't... See, that's where I guess I would argue a little bit, is because I don't think I consider a cinnamon roll even a pastry.
What do you consider it?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to... Like, I guess I would consider it more of a donut, like that aspect. Not necessarily... I don't think a cake. I think cake is, like, off. But then again, like, what about coffee cake? Like, I feel like a cinnamon roll and coffee cake kind of belong, like, almost in the same family.
I feel like all of those land underneath pastries. Maybe we just branched out to breakfast pastries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it just wasn't like, specific enough. Yeah, there just needs to be...
But see, again, like, you have pastries, and then you have dessert pastries and breakfast pastries, and then you could branch it out further.
Because my son's a savage, right? It's like he wakes up at 5:30.
Yeah.
So he's like, I want donuts, and he's like, he doesn't want. He's like, I want spud nuts, and he's like, I want to go and I want to pick it out.
Because he happens to have the greatest donut within an arm's reach. So
I go up, and I'll take him up there, and then I'm just kind of looking at him. I'm like, oh, so like they have apple fritter.
Yeah.
And then they had cinnamon rolls, and then they had donuts, and it just got me thinking.
Now, see,
like,
the apple fritter. That's another good question. Is that a donut?
Thank you.
Is like a bear claw?
So I would consider a bear claw or an apple fritter more of a pastry.
Yes.
Than like a cinnamon roll. I almost consider a cinnamon roll closer to a donut than I would like a pastry of that sort.
So why is that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
because like I mean.
And you can't have a conversation like this with a 3-year-old.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, but for cinnamon roll, like...
And I was losing my shit. Like, I'm, like, really thinking about this. And she's like, what kind of donuts would you... Like, I'm like, I don't care. I'm having a crisis.
Yeah.
Like, where does this fall?
Now, what about something like monkey bread?
That's what I'm saying.
So, like monkey bread, coffee cake, cinnamon roll. Like,
yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Same, like, kind of... But now we're just naming things that are cinnamon.
That's so true. I know. So do you think, you said monkey bread? I know exactly what you're talking about. Do you think the listeners, if you know what monkey bread is?
Oh, I think they know.
Okay, I'm interested.
I've heard like my other.
If you have no idea, what it is, go on Facebook or on Instagram and just comment. Be like, "What is this?" And we'll post like pictures.
Yeah, we'll send a recipe. We'll post a recipe.
Actually, yeah, it might be time for Mom to make that again. She hasn't made it in a while. She's slacking. Yeah. We need to get her. Yeah.
So I had off topic. I had an orange monkey bread.
Really?
It was it had like. It was like a creamsicle.
Ooh,
okay. On the inside, rather than cinnamon, it was like orange and cream. Oh my god! Oh, it was so good.
Okay, so we didn't really come to a. I'm interested. I want to hear like two random people. I'm going to ask Doug.
Yeah, we got to bring it up with them because there's definitely more.
This question's not going away. Like I think this is a new like hard hitting one. We're going to ask several guests this question.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we do settle like it is in the pastry realm. But it's like, what is it?
I guess I just need to change because pastry is a very broad term.
Yeah,
and I guess when I think of pastry, like I'm thinking of like fancier, now, like smaller.
Is a baked good different than a pastry?
I would argue yes.
Because like, does a pastry have to be like glazed or something with it?
No, I don't think so.
But name a pastry that's not glazed.
I feel like a pastry is like the dough.
But then you have like a muffin. Like, would you put a muffin and a cinnamon roll in the same like space?
Weirdly, no. I would put muffin more with like closer to a cake.
What if it's a cinnamon muffin? Since we put all those together earlier.
No, again, I would put that more towards like a cake.
Is a muffin a cupcake?
I mean, yeah. I don't care what people. It's basically a cupcake
I'm
without frosting.
I'm not a huge cupcake fan, but I love muffins.
Is there a different? Yes, because typically a cupcake is traditionally like a solid vanilla chocolate, like, and then you can fill it. Whereas muffins are like you have like the whole like the like flavor mixed into the batter, right?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's the best. Like drooling over here talking about muffins. Like,
anyways,
I might have to.
Sorry, like I said, I went to buy donuts and I'm like, wow, where does this live? Weird.
It's a good question though, because honestly, they have like the cinnamon, like we're basically talking about cinnamon roll, right? Like
I mean
that level of cinnamon roll, like
course.
standalone power. Yeah, because there's so many different variations of that too. Because like you can get ones that are a little more cooked that aren't quite as doughy in the middle, but we all want the doughy ones. Let's be serious, right? We want ones with a little bit too much icing on it.
Why do you look right at me?
Because I know I'm speaking truths right now. Yeah, I mean, all right. So let's secret time here. When Mom would ever make cinnamon rolls for us, it's like the first one I'm taking is the middle.
Oh, of course.
Like I'm like, why is there even sides?
Yeah.
Like, can you jam all 6 in the middle so they all end up to be that like soft, doughy, delicious
make
center?
6 individual ones.
Yes, exactly. But see, then every individual one would have hard outsides too. It's impossible.
Yeah.
If somebody can find a way to make nothing but middles on a pan of cinnamon rolls, please let me know.
Okay, so are you like that with everything? Like brownies? Are you going right for a middle piece, or do you want
brownies?
I
respect a corner on a brownie.
Man,
like there's something about the chew, like it's a like little textural juxtaposition.
But I agree. I am partial to a softer cinnamon roll rather than crunchy.
So like cinnamon roll. Let's go back to this real quick.
I love this.
What about? Do we put cinnamon roll in with like French toast and pancakes and waffles?
Okay, that's okay. I guess it depends on the size. Like, I don't think I would typically just order a cinnamon roll as like a meal.
You're looking at me like, that's not nearly enough. Where's my savory to go with the sweet? Oh, there's no bacon on this plate. You're missing something. What the hell?
But in all seriousness,
you can't be serious about any of that because you know everything I just said was 100% right. You're like, all right, I'm going to get the cinnamon roll and the Grand Slam breakfast.
Have you been to a restaurant, like a breakfast place, where they have like, they'll have a section of like pancake meals that you can order.
Yes.
Waffle meals. You don't get that like with a cinnamon roll. Like it's always like in addition to, or like, hey, you're getting it like to go kind of thing. So that's where I'm like, okay, maybe it is more of like a pastry, because normally like in the showcase with the cookies and like the brown and like, so maybe it is more like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can put it with pancakes and all that stuff, but I'm glad that you thought it deserved a conversation.
It does have that kind of power though, especially like the big ones. Like,
yeah, but you get my point with the menu, like just
if
like we're trying to organize it,
like, because you're not going to have like the combo meal. I mean, maybe some places do, but
I don't know.
TBD. We'll find out more information. I'll be interested what the Canadian has to say about this topic.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, it doesn't have maple in it. I don't eat it. Like,
so national number 3 coming up. Jeremiah Ellis, pretty good. We know that.
Yes,
he's going to be. I'll be interested to see how much of a favorite he is betting line wise going into this one.
Could he be the first minus?
No, line? I don't think. No, I don't think not yet. I think the lowest it's been has been like maybe plus 300.
Yeah,
I want to say right around there.
I can see him eclipsing that though.
It would not surprise me to see him at like plus 275.
Yeah,
or something like that, like along those lines, plus 225. I don't know. Like, obviously, it's dumb not to pick him right now to win it, just because like no one's been able to beat him in singles, anyways.
Yeah.
But there's just other guys that like, if history tells us something, like Mark Richards is bound to show up, right? I mean, so
we're looking at,
or is this just going to be like that off year?
He's not that far removed from it.
He had a better national too.
Yeah,
he did.
So I mean, no, I don't think it would surprise anyone if he would run it. But again,
like Jamie Graham to me is like going to be more hungry now.
Yeah, for sure. And like, it's just so hard. And again, if Jeremiah keeps doing what he's doing, good. I mean, we're already seeing the greatest single season in cornhole history right now. So like, it's only just going to add to it.
Well, and talk about Adam Hissner having like a resurgence this year. Like new partner, all of a sudden, like he was
Ohio back on
but
the
map.
map.
No one going into the season.
Yeah.
No one was talking about Adam as a singles player. Everyone's like, oh shit, look how many times they've won opens in doubles. Like him and Trey are gonna be like the dominant force on the double scene. And they still are. I mean, they're still like the team that no one wants to face. But then Adam just comes with 2 straight nationals, making a run to the finals.
I mean, again, national too, like
I mean, the only guy that's been able to beat him so far in the first 2 nationals is Jeremiah. That's it. He has. I mean, that's pretty fucking good. If Jeremiah would have stayed in the ACO one more season, Adam Hissner might be running shit right now.
He might. Very well could be. Which is, I mean, I love to see it, but I also love that those 2 boys have put Ohio back in people's mouth as far as like great cornhole talent. Because we started off there, we had a quick fade, and now we're right back into it. So I love to see it.
Other names like Alex Rawls is another name that like he's always just seems to be in the mix. It would really surprise me for us to go any further and not see Alex Rawls like on a broadcast in singles.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you have guys like Matt Guy.
Yeah,
if he gets hot and runs it.
Yeah, again, Matt. It's just been a while for Matt. Like and he is the perfect scenario at the pro level. PPR does not directly mean success.
No.
Because if you look at the top guys in PPR right now, Jeremiah's up there, obviously. But then Matt's one, Dylan Turpin was up there. You had a bunch of guys that like they're okay, like they're having good seasons, but they're not like the best guys right now.
Yeah.
Again, and then if you look at DPR, same thing. It's not super indicative of like who's having the best season. It's just that perfect combination of the 2. Whatever analytic that is going to be. But Gavin Cano, again, just keeps knocking on the door. Is he going to get it done this year? Or is this just going to be that year where he proves to everyone that he is a top 5 player, but he's not there yet. Like he's just...
Is he going to have a Devin Harbaugh-esque type syndrome?
I don't know, because I think that he is so damn close that I would be shocked if he doesn't win it in either singles or doubles.
I agree. I mean, we went into end of last year kind of thinking the same way.
At this point now, I feel more confident that they're going to win one in doubles rather than singles. Only because losing to Jeremiah the first time, like just I don't know. I think that there's more of a mental game. And when we talked to Gavin about that, and that's something that he's actively working on. So if he has somebody else to help fall back on, I think that helps, and he can play confident.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We do see a different Gavin in doubles. Like he is really tough to beat. Like he's just always on his game. It seems like.
Well, I feel like he feels like the alpha.
Yeah,
and whenever he feels like the alpha, he throws very confidently.
Perhaps one of the other great seasons that's happening right now that might get overlooked a little bit, but probably in second place right now for Rookie of the Year has got to be Braden Wilson.
Yes.
Braden Wilson silently having a great fucking season. I mean, he was 1 game away from we were having an all repeat again of the same from national number 1 of all the same bracket winners.
That's to think about too. Like
that never happens.
No, it really doesn't.
And we had 3 of the 4 repeat. And again, the longer it goes on, you keep guaranteeing those spots. Like you just have an easier draw. You do. Your pathway is very direct. You go 4, 5-0, and you're going to win your bracket, and you're good.
Yep.
So just go handle your business.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like we said, kind of Hissner was a beneficiary of that in national too. He had a nice run, got it done, found himself back in the finals.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's not going to be unheard of if these guys have a decently easy road. It's going to be harder than for anyone else to try to crack into it.
It's just surprising to me that like one of the other big names didn't like take them down.
Exactly. Yeah, like somebody didn't just have a day and you know flip the script. Which I
mean,
this
Graham
did.
This
one.
Graham did. You know what I mean? Like he flipped the script. I'll be interested. Again, Graham and Modlin in doubles too. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that they're the real deal. I think that National 1 is just probably more of a fluke than anything. I think they're going to be contending to win their bracket at every national.
Yeah, and honestly, like took them one national to get used to it again, and national 2 they were back.
Yeah.
So I don't expect them to go anywhere.
And again, like I think they're one of those teams that they're easy to forget about, and like if they don't finish really well, people start to doubt them because they don't play a whole lot compared to these other guys.
For sure.
Jamie said it. Like he finds nationals are important. World championship is important. Everything else, whatever. I'm not paying to travel.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to.
So you expect them to show up and show out. So
there's few with that luxury though.
There is. Eric Davis. He's done now. He can't do any better in the pro shootout. Like he's already there.
Did you see that? We do have a correction.
Okay.
So you can keep going and winning the shootout.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. So you're not handcuffed. So Eric Davis could go in and win this thing every single time from here on out if he so chooses.
And there would just be less participants at the end, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to know, though.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me with the payouts and stuff. Like, because exactly what we were saying before, you could just keep taking second.
Yeah,
like if you're that confident, if you're Eric Davis doing that well constantly, being like, I'll be back here at the next one. I'm going to throw this and just win the 2,500, so I can come back and win another 2,500. Like so I'm happy that they can go back in and keep winning it, but it will get weird if Eric Davis goes in and wins like 4 of these things. Like, what are they going to do?
It could happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess we'll find out.
With how well he's throwing and in the round limited, I mean, he's like, it's like a recipe for success for him. It has been.
Yeah, it's his game. It's unreal. It really is. Like, it's so weird to think about.
Now, again, I think the game would be awesome if he could put it all together and then give us a game to 21, because he's a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of player we want people to tune into and be like, oh shit, like how the hell did he do that?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to see I love Matt Guy. We don't want to see Matt Guy like on the broadcast throwing an 11. Well, it's fucking boring. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, I'm at home trying to watch the stuff, right? Take notes, post them on Twitter. And I'm falling asleep because it's so fucking boring.
Yeah. I mean,
it needs something.
It needs pyrotechnics.
It needs cool shots.
Yeah.
It needs to be like, oh, there needs to be a little bit of drama. You know what I mean?
It needs to be like, oh, that's why they're pros.
Yeah. Correct.
Because they can hit that shot.
Correct.
No, again, we've been saying that for years. Like, that's part of the game that I definitely think they're desperately in need of. But
cornhole is very much a little bit like golf in viewership, as in, like, if you're not an avid golfer and you turn on golf, you don't appreciate how good the professionals are.
Yeah.
But if you're involved with it and you just went golfing and you go home and watch the pros and be like, God, how do they do that every time?
This guy's not even gonna make the cut, and he's like plugging.
So I think there's a
like,
little bit of that with cornhole. You turn on and you're not like, you're just a backyard player, but like, I can hit that shot.
Yeah.
But then when you start to really play, and then you can appreciate a little bit more just how difficult they are.
Well, and also you go watch like the competitive levels and stuff. Like, they're still utilizing blocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they've learned that, hey, I need to block so that this guy can't just get hot slinging 4 bags right up the gut. And I can kind of see the game already transforming back to that dirty-esque game. And I think the birth of the hybrid carpet was a big one. You could still have a little playability. Yeah. So maybe that could be the saving grace.
I think that's one of the things that Adam Hissner has done very well this year. He's kind of reminding me of like Greg Maddux. Like, he's a pitcher right now. He's never giving you the same look twice.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes his first bag, if he has first lead, he's putting the first 2 bags in, then he's going to throw a block.
Yeah.
Sometimes he wants that first one to be a V block. As soon as you kick off, he's cleaning up and then resetting. You know what I mean? Like, it just death by 1,000 cuts.
And that's how you have to approach it now.
I think
like,
in the pro level, I think you do.
Yeah.
You have to really separate. Each 4 bags is a separate game. If you win more games than your opponent, chances are you're probably going to win.
Yeah, I mean,
scoring
anything over a 2 in a round right now at the level of cornhole,
that's true.
You can't expect anything more than that.
Yeah, that's true.
So to me, like, some of these rounds that you're getting 5s and stuff, that's just a gift from God. Like,
very, very true. All right, you want me to do this dramatic reading?
Yeah, let's do it.
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
And as always, dramatic readings is brought to you by Big D Bags. We said it last week. Grab the girth, embrace the bulge. Go over to Big D Bags.
Just swept the ACO.
Yeah, I think and they're like ranked 3rd right now or something. So yeah, if you're involved in the ACO and you don't throw Big D, get on the train, man. They got some great throwers out there. So head over to Big D Bags and don't let your hands go without the girth. Go over to Big D Bags, strap code BIGASP10 to save $10 off.
ACL Pro Travis Purser. If you're older than 10 and still order cheese pizza, stop the foolishness. Pizza's not for you. Stick with your chicken nuggies and quit wasting good dough. You probably go to Baskin Robbins and get vanilla ice cream.
Man. Couldn't agree with him more.
Okay, so are you anti-cheese pizza guy?
Yes, there are so many.
I'm not going to order a cheese pizza for myself, but I'm not going to like pretend like I wouldn't eat a slice of cheese pizza.
Yes, no, I'm not.
Like, I'm not too good at
I'm not above eating a slice of cheese pizza. Yeah. But if I don't have to order for like kids or something, there's many accompaniment on a pizza.
All right, so you are like, what is your ideal pizza topping?
So my favorite pizza topping,
but don't just give me one. I know yours is gonna be mushroom.
Yeah, I mean I like, gross. But like a combo is usually yes. I like mushroom, sausage, and then sometimes like I'll do like either an onion and green pepper.
Okay.
Other times I'll just leave it those two and like keep it simple. But yeah, I don't know. I think you got to have a little something extra to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm not like I'm a big pepperoni. I'm good with pepperoni.
I've just
any
noticed,
kind of meat I'm good with.
Have you just noticed that like I feel like the world is just getting pickier and pickier as eaters though?
100%.
Like yeah, the world is expanding every day with like the culinary part of the world, but then everyone else like they just don't have any need to explore it, which just it bothers me.
Bothers me. I don't.
I'll try anything once. I don't care.
Well, because like I live with 2 toddlers.
Yes.
And my wife, who eats like a toddler sometimes.
You broke out of it though. You used to be a pickier eater, but you're more adventurous.
When I was real young, I was.
Yeah.
But by high school though, I wasn't a picky eater anymore. Yeah. No.
But we introduced Logan to some calamari, so he's gonna be hooked on that now. That's a great gateway for anyone out there listening. If you need to get your kids on the seafood train, calamari starts them off strong.
Do you want me to do this one?
Yeah, why not?
All right, this is a true dramatic reading. All right, so buckle up, folks. This is going to be this is a little long.
You ready?
I think so. All right, this is by Lauren Tigner. Hey guys, I spent a couple of weeks avoiding making this post. Anyone that knows me knows it's excruciating me to make a post like this, but here it is. As some of you already know, I will no longer be associated with Local Bags. I received an email a couple weeks ago from Chris Meek stating that I am no longer going to be part of Local. This came as a shock to me because before this email, Chris and I were friends and he had told me many times that the trademark would be mine whenever I wanted to transferred over. I was given absolutely no notice, and this was effective immediately. Because of the way Chris decided to handle this, I was not able to warn anyone in my circle, including family, friends, sponsored players, business connections, etc. The decision Chris made was an intentional attempt to hurt me and anyone else involved with Local, and he knew that. I'm only making this post because I feel it is in everyone's best interest that I'm honest about Chris's actions from here on out. Chris, my family, friends, and I have defended you and your actions in many conversations. It is clear to me now that it was a wrong thing for me to do. I was naive to stand by you as long as I did. I'm not going to trash talk anyone, but I will be 100% honest with the people when they ask me about your character. I've watched you make the decisions to lie and hurt all the people that loved you so much over the years, and I won't be quiet so you can keep doing so. Emphasis on lie. For anyone worried about me and the friends/family this has impacted, I'm determined to take this as an opportunity to build something stronger than Local and to learn from this experience. I will do my best to make something beautiful out of this mess. I'm not going to waste my time or energy worrying about being angry about all the past and move all forward. I expect the same mentality from all others that were impacted by this. Take your time to be angry, get over it, and let's make things better. And lastly, I want to thank everyone for their love, support, and help along the way. Local would have been nothing without you guys, and you know that. Cornhole people are some of the most accepting people on earth, and that I'm beyond thankful to be part of this group. Thanks for the read. Signing off, and hashtag fuck Local. So this came from a response, actually. So somebody had posted, like, on Addicted to Cornhole or something, like, I was trying to order bags from local, and it looks like their site is down. Like, has anyone heard anything? And then the comments start rolling in, like, yeah, I tried ordering bags, 2-3 weeks ago, and they sent me a refund right away, and and then this was sent in the comments. I don't know exactly what's going on. I've heard whispers of stuff going on that was not good news for local, and it was going kind of this direction where they're inevitably closing. Mm-hmm. Hence why I transition away, kind of thing. It's sad to see. I don't know all the details, but I felt like it was at least important enough to read this and get it out there and
for sure, yeah,
let people know. Because local was like a staple, like OG brand of the sport.
Yeah,
like local. The first set of bags I ever bought that were like, in quotes, pro level bags were local Mamba.
Yeah, and you're still drinking Mamba. Look at that.
Yeah, and the whole reason I bought it is because I saw Adam and Cody on ESPN throwing local, and that was the only I never knew that there was cornhole bag companies, but I'm like, all right, let's type in fucking local. I'm like, oh, they make cornhole bags. Oh, they're pro and they're two-sided. All right, fuck it, let's buy this. Dane and I are going to a tournament, and then the rest is history.
Yep.
So like, it's sad for me to see such like an iconic brand kind of fading away.
It's just like one of the former giants.
Yeah, man.
They just kind of faded into nothing.
It could be a 30 for 30 one day when cornhole's big.
Yeah, really could. Like, and one had one, so.
Yeah, they sure did.
They sure did.
All right. Well, we're gonna be having the draft coming up in here in just a minute.
Right up in here.
But if you're looking to support us in any way, right? You're like, God, these guys are just really good looking and their voices are just amazing.
Sultry.
And I just love them. If you go to patreon.com/BigAspCornhole for the price of a beer a month, all right, you can get bonus content. You get access to happy hour. You get say in what we talk about in the episodes, bag giveaways, and a whole bunch more. Right. Yeah. We greatly appreciate all the support. We wouldn't be able to continue to do this without all you guys. So we hope that comes through loud and clear. All right, so if you go to patreon.com/BigAspCornhole, and we love you all.
Love you all.
Hell yeah. All right, so stay tuned. We're going to be joined by former ACL pro Drew Brown and then the host of the Down and Back Cornhole podcast, Doug Coombs, in just a minute.
Sweet.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are now joined by former ACL pro, Mr. Drew Brown, and the host of the Down and Back Cornhole podcast, Mr. Doug Coombs. What's going on, man?
I thought you were going to say that I was the former ACL pro.
We in your heart. Drew, what's going on, man?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. An OG. So Doug was talking about before we started recording that you were like the OG, like cornhole pro, like going on like the circuit of like the podcast world back in the day. So we greatly appreciated all your guys, your early content.
Of course. I think it was mainly a lot to do with COVID back then. That's when a lot of viewership started happening, and that's when, I started growing my social media channels and a lot more eyes were starting to get involved with the sport. And what else was there to do too?
I still think you have my favorite trick shot of all time is when you open the Bud Light can or the bottle with the bag, like you unscrewed the cap. Like that was still like just the nastiest.
Yeah, it was sweet.
That's like the one video I thought would take off more than it did. I think it did well on Facebook, but other than that, it's been a little stuck.
Yeah, the video world's weird, man. Like there's sometimes like we'll post something where I'm confident that like this is gonna do well, and it does okay. And then there's other times where I'm like throwing it up, like I just need to post something, and then it blows up, and I'm like, this is like, this is what people want.
Yeah, I know.
I've noticed a lot of it deals with obviously algorithm time, when you post it.
100%, yes.
Are also active on the sites.
It's crazy because Facebook is like is complete opposite of all the other ones. Like Facebook is super popular, like early in the week, early in the morning, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then after that, like no one's checking fucking Facebook Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like updating, like parents updating like grandparents on like what they did with their kids and shit. But early on in the week's great. But then TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, that's when you need to flood it on afterwards. Like, so I'm slowly catching on. But yeah, it's such a pain in the ass, man. If you don't post regularly too, it's like they punish you. You know what I mean? It's like, they're like, oh, no one's going to see this. I'm like, fuck, we have like, even on Facebook, sometimes we're like that. I'm like, we have 14 or 15,000 followers. Like, how does this have like 500 views? Like, what the fuck is going on with this? Like, it makes
not
sense.
everyone's watching your stuff, Sean.
It should be.
Right? I know they should be.
God damn it. All right. So
a lot of people are looking at me like, I don't want to see another 4-bagger. Let's just take off right now. Like, I'd love to show y'all some more bottle cap trick shots, but I'm not going to do 2 hours worth of time for 50.
Well, I do.
Views.
I think you, like guys like you and Jay Corley, you guys did a really good job of like laying a groundwork of like just showing that if you just put in some sort of effort and like putting yourself out there, like it can lead to stuff. And I think the pro division this year, I feel like there's been some sort of an effort this year to be more seen on social media. It seems like there's a lot more guys being active on even just going like TikTok live or something. Like that's great. Like that's what we need. Like we need that like that level of professionalism out there and like just the overall effort for sure. So
like you talk about Jay Corley, everyone's been like lately. Everyone's like, "Oh, get Pat McAfee on to try and do cornhole stuff." Wasn't it like 3-4 years ago? Jay Corley had a thing going with Pat McAfee, and all the new players have no idea about that. That Jay was like the original.
Dude, I have that shirt. I have the shirt that his wife had made. I'm trying to remember what it said. Yeah, the bum. You're a bum.
Yeah.
So I have a bum shirt that I still wear every once in a while, and only like true like OG fans of the show would like even have any clue what the hell that is. You know what I mean?
He ran with it too.
Loved it. It was great. Well, you need to like take it and run. Like that's your opportunity, man. Like make a name for yourself. Like go out there.
Right.
Hell yeah.
And I agree. There's an uptick on like a lot of players using more social media nowadays, but I feel like there can be more happening. Some of these guys that have their faces on ESPN every single tournament almost, like they've almost got if I was in their shoes, if I was that good still, I would try to pay somebody to, blog a whole weekend while they're at nationals.
Yeah,
and I
correct.
Do all these, eyes that don't normally see them going out to dinner or their preparation, before a broad would eat that stuff up. So I'm hoping in the next couple of years we'll see something like that.
I get it. All right, so this is our pre-national fantasy draft. All right, we do it every national. It's been pretty standard across the board that I've dominated. But
no longer, Sean.
My run is over. All right, after 5 years. All right, the run is over. Dane took me down. Dane and Doug actually 1 and 2. Very, I think 75 points were separated.
Yeah, we were super close, and then David wasn't far behind either.
Yeah, and I took fourth. I did not do well the last time, so I need to redeem myself here a little bit. So.
Yeah, and look, you won the random trivia question,
and this is the first because I've had last pick. I think the first.
Yeah,
two.
I think you had the first. Yeah,
I was not very good at this. But your random trivia today was very much more in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, just,
little football trivia. So
I gotta say though. Little biased against the Canadian.
Yeah, but like we had a space one and you're Canadian, so like you clearly have more knowledge about that kind of stuff. So
you guys since you got asked last time, Sean, it's just like you got the Bears pick now. So go ahead.
Correct. You're right. So I want the full 2 minutes on the clock though.
Yes.
Sorry. So I decided that we're going to start off with singles, and Dane's filling in my pick and he doesn't even know who I'm going to say yet. And it's very presumptuous of you just to assume who I was going to put in there. This guy is on an absolute tear. It feels like it's almost too good to be true. Like this is the first time we've ever had a back-to-back winner.
Yeah.
Like could he dare win 3 in a row? We didn't think it could happen, but then Eddie and KB did it in doubles last year. So like you can do it.
Yeah, you can.
It's just like, it's almost like too many things have to like align again for it to happen, but he's just playing better than everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about Jeremiah Ellis. It's going to be the first pick. In the draft.
All right. That's first one. All right.
First pick.
I'm a little surprised.
Yep.
Wow. Way to, go outside the box there.
Yeah. Correct.
No, seriously. He's absolutely been on fire, and you can't win 3 in the first 2.
Nope.
So that's I mean, it is what it is.
Pretty easy. All right, Drew, you're on the clock. It's on you.
So I am going to stick within Ohio.
Change that, Dane. Change it.
I will.
He has been in the Final Four the last 2 nationals and almost won the Titan tournament yesterday, right? Was that right?
Yes.
Well, depending on when it'll be the Sunday.
The bag and bash, yeah.
With that, I'm going to go with Mr. Boom himself, Adam Hissner.
Because didn't Trey Birchfield end up winning it? I think he beat Adam in the finals, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Isn't that rigged? Like they win the Titan tournament, like, oh, okay, like sweet.
But
like
their doubles performance was absolutely mediocre. It was surprising for how they started out this year. And then they come around in singles and then just,
Well, Adam's never been like known to be like as a singles guy. Like he's made it there before. Like he won the first pro shootout, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Against Frank Modlin. So like he's been there before, but he's never been this consistent.
When ACL was called Cobbs, he finished second to, I believe, James.
I was going to say Baldwin.
I think it was James Baldwin. Yeah. So he's been at the final in the championships before.
Yeah.
He's just back, I think.
He was just well known for doubles. You know what I mean? Like Hissner Henderson. You know what I mean? Like it was just like a commodity kind of thing.
I feel like I wouldn't even say he was in the shadow of Cody, but I mean, he was definitely, Cody was the more provocative player. So everybody knew Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Cody.
Well, and the ACL promoted Cody early on. You know what I mean? Like he was the face of the ACL early on. He's well-spoken, quirky looking dude, like looked like a very average, like guy. It could be sitting across from you in a cubicle and he just happens to be like an assassin on the boards. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll still never forget the Napoleon Dynamite meme.
Oh, dude. So. My favorite. My favorite. He gave us our blessing, by the way. All right, Doug, you're up, bud.
I think I'm gonna go Gavin Cano this time. I think
you have
he's due for one.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah,
safe
right
pick.
There.
It's a safe pick.
Canadian, do the same thing.
Fair enough. You said it, not me. So it's allowed. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Just because I think it's time. I gotta go Jamie Graham.
Makes sense.
Surprise, surprise. But then I'm gonna go Tony Smith. I think it's time.
It's weird like how much a year, because last year Tony Smith wasn't getting past the first 2 picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. Now it's just
now
I
it's
almost
like,
feel am I reaching? But
I was just gonna ask you, like, do you like that pick? Like,
not necessarily, but
okay,
I figured I'm going after people that are going to win the thing.
Okay,
so,
I like that.
Yeah,
that's how you win this thing.
Going to try to win the whole damn thing, guys.
Correct.
All right, I'm trying my darndest. Doug.
I mean, so who's going to take second? Right? I mean, because Jeremiah's going to win the 3rd in a row. So
yeah, we'll see.
Is that good? Can I ask your guys' opinion? Would that be good for the ACL if Jeremiah wins 3 in a row? Like, is that a good thing? Is that more marketable?
Think it'd be a bad thing per se, but
I would say no if he has been a veteran for like 4 or 5 plus years.
Yes,
because he's a rookie and he's doing this.
Yeah,
it makes other people, especially younger players, believe like that's his thing. Believe.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, he is like a rookie in like air quotes. Like he's been playing at a very.
Right.
I mean, he was wasn't he king of cornhole last year? In ACL.
I mean, in 1 year, he's won the ACL World Championships, qualified for ACL singles, and won 2 ACL nationals.
Yeah,
so he wasn't coming in as an unknown like some of the other rookies, right? Like, there was we knew what he was going to do.
But you look at that year prior. I don't know how he finished that in ACO at the World Championships before he won it.
I don't know.
There's definitely been. I know he didn't win it, so there's definitely been some kind of progression within that year.
Oh, for sure.
Didn't he win an Open last year in the ACL too?
He might have.
I think he did.
He might have won one like late.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But nonetheless.
Yeah,
I know he finished in the final 4 of like 3 or 4 opens in a row without winning.
Yeah.
And then finally I knew he won something. But yeah, I think it would be great knowing that he's a rookie and all these other people would, believe they have the shot to do the same thing with just a year's worth of absolutely hard work.
I was just interested.
Yeah.
I don't think I've formulated like an opinion yet. If he wins the third one, I think it's an easy marketing opportunity. Like, you don't really have a choice at that point. You gotta market the dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're putting our eggs in his basket, and looks like he can be a personable guy. Like, he's trying. You know what I mean? Typing up the crowd afterwards, and he's got a good following. He's likable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they should really play off this. Like, he's a working dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he might not be the.
What can Brown do for you? You know what I mean? Like,
to me, it's one of those, like, it might not be the one you thought, but it's the one you got. So you got to latch on while you can and ride it.
Yeah,
correct.
It don't last long, man. Usually, I mean, you look at some of these players that have been at the top of the game before, and we mentioned James Baldwin earlier. I mean, it's
because the burnout happens quick too. I feel like
the ride you don't last long, but it's staying up top.
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
I mean, but we've seen it like every year though. Like Mark Richards, when he went on his unbelievable run, like everyone's like, he can't just keep winning, right? Like, he can't just keep winning his bracket and making it final. And he just did. Jamie Graham's done it before. You know what I mean? Like, so we've seen it before, and maybe we're just overthinking it. Maybe it is like, this is just gonna be his year.
Yeah,
every year it's just gonna be a different dude. It's just gonna be up.
It's kind of what I'm expecting. I mean, I think we're already there. So
sorry. All right, Doug. I didn't mean to cut you up. Your next pick, bud.
I already did. I did Eric Davis. Did I not?
Oh, Eric Davis.
Davis. Okay.
Sorry.
It's.
We went off on a tangent.
Drew, it's on you.
My pick. All right. So let's go with. I wasn't going to take any of the young guys either. And I'll say that just because, the lights start, make people perspire a little more. But, man, Braden Wilson, dude.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah.
He's been on fire. It's hard to look past what he's done and all of his hard work and confidence. It's crazy.
Scroll up a little bit for me. Yeah, I mean, all right. So I kind of follow what you think, what you did there before. Like, I typically don't take a lot of young dudes, but they're performing really well. And I think this guy, he keeps winning opens. And I think that, I'm going to go with Ryan Trader.
Okay.
He's one of those guys that he's backing it up. He hasn't won a national yet. He hasn't won his bracket yet, but he's having a really good season. And I don't think it would really shock anyone if he ended up going on a run and won his bracket. I refuse to go into round 3 without taking him. I think it's disrespect. I'm going to go Mark Richards, and I know it's kind of boring, but
it's very boring.
How
Sean.
dumb would we feel if he ends up winning this thing? And we let him slip all the way down. So I'm going to go. I like my start there, so we'll go there.
All right, Drew. Right back to you.
Yeah. All right. You taking Mark Richards is making me nervous as we go down the line, but Alex Rawls.
It's a safe pick. I almost want Richards and Rawls, but I'm like, I want to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Getting spicy, Sean. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh off injury and all that. I think he's wanting one.
All right. Dougie Fresh.
I think I'm with you there, Sean. I've kind of stayed away from the younger guys as well, but I think this time I think I got to take Sammy Soto on this one. I think
he's been a really safe pick. Like, he hasn't he's just going to be in the mix. You know what I mean? Like, he's too talented not to finish top 4 of your bracket, right? Like, I just feel like he's never going to hurt you.
And I think we've been waiting for him to really kind of come out, and I think this could be his one.
All right, on to me for back-to-backs.
Sure is.
Honestly, I'm gonna go Mr. Bernasset.
Okay,
he's been
playing really well,
a solid season. So I'm just gonna hope that he just keeps it in form and I mean, every time I see him, I feel like he's just more and more dashing. So just let it ride.
Maybe he's on that EDM high that he had in Vegas.
Exactly. Yeah, he just had a fun little vacation. I think he's gonna go in there feeling young, wild, and free.
The holes.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna stick with my gun here and go with a guy that I think's gonna crack through very soon, and it's Logan Chamberlain. So I think he's right on the cusp, and I'm hoping this might be the one. Doug, back to you.
I think this guy got the win on the weekend, and there was a lot of big names there down in Georgia, and I've got to go Trey Birchfield.
Good pick. That's what I was going to go with.
Well, you can't now, Sean. Doug took him.
Yeah,
sucks to suck.
Thank you,
Drew. You're up next.
Sorry.
You do not apologize, Doug.
Well, I'll go with Mr. ACO himself, Matt Guy. I feel like that's a very safe pick. If I wait any longer, maybe I won't see him. And I mean, he's always in the top 4 or 5 of his bracket. So just a couple more wins, he'll win a bracket and be in the Final Four again.
Beautiful pick. I think Sean was maybe thinking about going with him. So whenever you can snag one right from him, it always warms my heart a little bit.
Scroll back up. All right, so I'm going to go with guys that have won nationals before, right? We know that they get it done. Justin Burton Jr.
Yes.
All right, he's won one. I think he was pretty good at cornhole last time I checked. And then the other one is Fisher Hamilton.
Nice.
He's a little boomer bust for my liking in a fantasy thing, but again, we're going after guys that
they
win
the whole thing.
And right now, I'm starting off with 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of my 5 picks have all won nationals before, so yeah. I like that.
You like it, Dad?
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
You like it, a sauce?
I do.
All right. Well, Drew, let's ruin his day.
Mr. Devin Harbaugh himself.
And he's hot too, right? Just coming off the open singles win. He was the other one I was kind of contemplating there. Yeah. So
again, and I don't know if you've seen his stat from his last regional
dude,
game.
It was ridiculous. Was it 100 bag? He made 99 out of the first 100 bags.
That might be true, but I think it was 109 out of 112.
Dude, that is ridiculous.
He missed 3 bags in like 28 rounds. I think if I remember his post right, it said he went the first 20 rounds and didn't miss yet.
Jesus,
that's nuts. That is nuts. Good Lord.
I'll take that guy in the 5th. How about that?
Wow. Yeah, no, right? Isn't that crazy? Because like Devin Harbaugh, we know how talented he is, but like like he does have a little volatility to him, just a little bit. You know what I mean? But we know. I mean, if I'm making a power ranking, I have a hard time leaving him off top 10. You know what I mean? Just because how fucking good the guy is.
Yeah.
Like he's always like 9 or 10. He's always like right there. Like I'm like, how do I leave him off? Like with like these other names there, and especially when he is getting like an open win. You know what I mean? Like he is backing it up a little bit with that. So.
He's due for a national
for sure
very soon.
Dougie Fresh.
I think I'm probably going to go a little deeper than I have before.
Okay.
Ooh.
A name I've probably never called before. But I think I'm going to go Ethan Walker.
It's a good pick.
Oh, yeah. He knocked me out of the conference last time I went. He's a stud.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Dane, I think you have back-to-back picks now.
I do.
So it means you have to pick 2 people.
I got to pick 2.
Yes.
I'm looking at the rankings and how well people have performed recently.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Chris Roybal.
Okay.
With the first one. He's put
Arizona.
together a great season, and we were just
really
in Arizona and
rookie season, right?
I think it is his rookie season. But yeah, he's putting it together, doing
currently 9th.
Yeah.
I mean, top 10. I mean, that's and through 2 nationals.
And sometimes when these like rookies get hot, like they just see nothing but victories, and then next thing you know, you're in a broadcast.
Well, we talked about it early. Like you getting having a good seed means if he's ninth, that means he's going to go into it really having a top 2 seed,
Yeah, exactly.
3 seed at
like
worst.
Your road is a little bit easier than some of the other people out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, again, like not taking anything away from Adam, but look at his path from the last national.
Yeah,
I mean, if anyone was going to look at a bracket and be like, I want that one,
for
you know
sure.
what I mean, like,
give me that guy.
I was trying to give you a second.
Yeah,
there,
I know. Like it's tough because this last one, it's just it's kind of all over the place.
I know who he's going to go with.
Thinking that?
Yep.
It definitely jumped out at me. So yeah, why not? Just somebody that is throwing really well. Ryan Wiedenfeld. I think he's just throwing really good bags right now and always does. So maybe it could be his day.
Well, he's also going to come in with focus, and he's a young kid. He's not going to be out partying the night before.
Yep. Yeah, and he's just I don't know, like has overcome like some serious odds and has like become even better this season. So hell yeah.
Yeah.
Doug, final pick in singles for you.
Well, we've already taken the top 2 guys that were at the Bag and Bash this weekend, so we might as well take the third. I'm going to go with Mr. Canada, Jordan Power.
Does he know that you call him Mr. Canada?
Yeah, I've talked with him a couple times. He's even called himself that when he's up here in Niagara because he just wins everything at the Open in Niagara every year. So
getting him this late, I don't mind. But in fantasy stuff, you have to know with Power is that there is a realistic possibility that guy goes 0-2 in singles. You know what I mean? Like it's happened too many times in singles, and that's kind of it's too good of a player for that. And I think that once he gets that consistency, just when you're at a national, and your name, like you need to go fucking win that first match or the first or the second one. You know what I mean? Like you need to go on a little bit of a run, kind of thing. So
again. And with there being so many big names there on the weekend and him still picking up a third, I think that's...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thank good for him going into this weekend.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All right, Drew. Final single.
I'm going to go with... Man, I'm going back and forth between 2 names. So I've already got his old partner. I'll go with Cody Henderson this time. I mean, you haven't heard much out of him lately, and I feel like he's due to kind of, spring back.
I mean, haven't heard much, but he's still 27th in singles right now, and
there. So for him,
he's still playing.
Quiet is that's the only reason, And
this is usually right around the time that he starts coming alive, like third national, like warming up right into Worlds, and then that's when he's usually scariest. All right, Sean, who do you got as your final?
Give me Ryan Hart.
Are you a heartthrob now, Sean?
He's just throwing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think winning a national last time, like, just a confidence boost, even if it is doubles and singles.
Yeah, for sure.
And he was second in his bracket last time.
Yeah, and he won a shootout last year and stuff. Like, I mean, he's
got a really good game.
He can do it. So. Hell yeah.
So,
we're gonna break it up now.
Yeah. So right before we get into doubles, just a few names that like just looking at like the standings.
Yeah.
Surprising a little bit. Like it's nice to see Cody Henderson back in top where he belongs. He's a top 25 guy. He's currently ranked 27th. You have Berkeley Pear ranked 30th.
Yeah.
Silently having he had a really good first national, and he's made us some runs in the pro shootout. Last national, he was like 7th in his bracket, was okay. But I mean, again, people forget how talented he is. 2 years ago, his rookie season, he was like kind of like the early sleeper pick for like rookie of the year kind of thing.
Yeah.
Didn't quite pan out, you know what I mean? But it seems like this year he's kind of finally putting it all together, because he's one of those guys that, to us cornhole honks, if he went out and won this next national, it's not a huge surprise. I mean, it's a little bit like, none of us drafted him here, but if he's that talented, like it's not that big of a shock.
Yeah.
We just want to see him put it all together. So I like seeing it like in that position.
Absolutely.
And I would honestly, I mean, if we're talking throw styles and everything else, out of everyone here that mimics, the man now, Jeremiah Ellis, his throw, his stance, his bag flush,
Yes.
it's perfectly paired.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
If Jeremiah winning these doesn't give him hope, I don't know what will. So,
Drew, I'm interested to get your take on so this the pro shootout series, right? And like you have a unique perspective coming from, you know, the former pro side of it. Is last time at the pro shootout in the doubles, we had an elite team win it, right? So like technically a non-pro team win like a pro event. Do you have does that bother you at all? Like, is that cool with you? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
That one I'm kind of indifferent about. I mean, to have what's a pro shootout, like the name pro in it, and to have somebody come, you know, off the streets that essentially, I mean, this may bother some viewers, but they paid for the elite spot, and they played their butts off. They earned the win. I'm not taking anything away from them. They earned everything that they fought for. But it is different. I don't want to say that I don't like it or I do like it, but I mean, it is a pro shootout.
It just seems like that should be something like that you guys are rewarded for. Like,
it's
like, there's a qualification.
Like sacred just for the pros to be.
Yeah. And I think that it's kind of cool in the respect that when the ACL set this up and they're like, hey, ACL elite guys, you guys can qualify for this and you guys get to play.
Yeah.
They didn't actually think anyone was going to fucking win it. And then you have guys like Tony Forbes who are really fucking good and they happen to get hot and they win the thing. And I feel like if you're the ACL, be like, oh shit. Like now what?
Did we pick the best 256 players?
Yeah, like, oh man, exactly.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, now again, you get into like the whole junior thing, and I don't know what your take is. I really think that the junior, it should be separated thing. Like the pro division needs to be over 18 years old.
Yes,
in my opinion. Like, and I know that's probably a really unpopular opinion, but
I mean, look at the singles we just drafted. You got to cut like half of them out.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think you got to make it 18, you know, just to make it a lot easier.
I'll tell you this from my perspective. Some of my favorite tournaments have been in casinos and all that. And
oh yeah,
whether it was Cobb's at Harris Cherokee up the street from me, or even in Vegas or something, but they've got to jump through hoops and everything else just to get these kids into some of these places.
Oh, it's crazy.
So,
it's crazy.
I think if it was the way you're explaining it, it was a different, you know, bracket or different, I don't know, maybe like a AAA or something like that. I think they'll be able to get into more venues and have more sponsorships, and I think it holds the ACL back. But you know, these kids, I mean, they're playing great.
They are.
I'm one of my best games is watching what's Little Man and Matt Guy go.
Oh, Hicks. Oh yeah. Well, and then look at Braden Wilson. Braden Wilson wins the bracket the first time. The second one takes second in his bracket. You know what I mean? Like he's right there again. Like I'm not saying that they're not talented enough. I'm just saying there's a reason that all the other pro leagues have a minimum age. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it just needs to be a little bit older. That's all.
Yeah, it does solve a lot of problems if there's not juniors in the game.
Yeah.
So just to go completely, go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
Looking at the other one, like the first question I asked Drew there about the non-pros in there.
Yeah.
I look it up here with in Canada with our pro shootouts that we've had here. We've had one pro and a pro qualifier as his partner win a doubles up here. Our last one in Calgary. But every event we've had a qualifier and a final for something.
That's crazy.
It's kind of been the norm up here in Canada to have a.
So it just means that like the best players aren't necessarily going like the pro route.
Well, and I guess you can look at we've only got the 30 something pros up here, 27 pros, right?
Yeah.
So once we kind of we're still new, so we're still kind of going to new spots. We're getting every tournament up here. That's the one thing I've loved about doing live feed so far up here this year is that every tournament I'm getting like 5-6 names of people that I had no idea about. Kind of heard a little bit about them, but nothing real major. All of a sudden, they're just throwing lights out on live feeds.
We got a whole bunch about about.
Just yeah,
I loved it. That was so Canadian of you. I loved it. That was the best thing ever.
Sorry.
So to go like completely away from cornhole, Dane and I wanted you guys to chime in on something that we feel like is pretty pressing. Okay,
it really is. It's kind of been eating away at me since we had the
Let me set the scene. So my son really wanted to go get donuts, and there's this donut shop right down the street. So I pick him up. We go there first thing in the morning. We're in the donut shop, and we're looking at all the thing, and I see that they have like things like apple fritters, and then I saw like just a lonely little cinnamon roll just sitting there by himself, and I got to thinking like, where does a cinnamon roll fit in like the food world, right? Like, does it live in the land of donuts? Is it on the like planet cake? Like where are we at? Like with where do you put a cinnamon roll? Like where does it belong?
Who you asking?
Anybody, you or Doug?
Oh shoot, I'm not a big sweets guy, but I'd say it's a donut, right? It's a pastry. No.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying.
He fell into the pastry realm.
Okay, so Dane made a very good point.
Yeah.
So I guess I can agree that if you are using pastry as this ginormous umbrella term,
yes.
Okay, I can see that. Yes, a cinnamon roll is probably somewhere under that umbrella.
Guys, much like a sandwich is a very large umbrella term, of which a hot dog rests.
It does not.
Beneath.
No, it does not. I get it's completely separate.
Just saying.
But like, where does is a cinnamon roll more of like a donut? Is it more of like a cake? Like Dane brought up the point, like, is it like in the world of like waffles and pancakes and all that stuff? But like, I made the argument, like, you wouldn't go to a restaurant and order just a cinnamon roll, right? Like, you could order like just pancakes or just a waffle, but you're not going to order just a cinnamon roll.
In Canada,
this is why we brought you in.
We have in malls we have Cinnabon, which is just cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
that you go to that exact store.
So that's a store. Like I'm talking about like a sit down restaurant, but aggress. So if we're talking about Cinnabon, right? Like again, where do you classify that as? Do you classify it in like? Does it belong with like coffee cake and honey buns and like all that stuff?
I'm gonna say yes for that one.
Okay,
I'm not saying it's a donut, but it's not a cake. It's somewhere in that gray.
That's what I'm saying. Like.
Yeah, but like, where do we draw the line
between
like pastry and donut? There's so many things that.
Yeah, Drew's right. It's right next to a brownie.
Kind of. Yeah. It's like a long. But a brownie is more of like a baked good. I feel like.
But it's not a cake, right?
Well, if your brownie is like a cake, then you're not making brownies, right?
You fucked your brownies up.
Right? if we're really getting down to it, right? If we're talking, I mean, I know a thing about brownies.
Yeah, right? Demolished a pan or two in my day. All right, we know what's up.
No, so I don't know why. It was just a completely random question, and like I'm trying to focus. Like my son's like yelling at me to get the one with the sprinkles, and all I keep thinking, I'm like, where the fuck does this fit in?
Yeah,
like because I'm like, you don't belong with donuts. Like you don't belong in the same. Like section is donuts.
See, to me, like Cinnabon, I'm sorry, but you need a fork and knife to eat.
Correct.
That's why I was kind of lumping it in with like the French toast realm, like just because it's utensils.
Well,
like,
and cinnamon roll
pastries to me are something that you can easily like eat with your hand.
Dane made a
like,
great point. Cinnamon roll is also a unique thing because I don't know about you guys, but if it's cinnamon roll, like I do want it kind of like soft.
Yes, I want.
Or if like it's a brownie, like I want an edge piece. I'm not going for like the middle. You know what I mean? Like I want a little crunch.
Yeah.
But like for a cinnamon roll, like I'm okay if it's soft all the way through.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, even for an apple fritter, I'm not even sure if that's a donut either.
Okay,
all right. So yeah,
that's why
we brought up honey bun, and that's where like the line's starting to get blurred for me for like pastry donut.
Because like a fritter to me, it's like closer to. I guess it's closer to a donut than what a cinnamon roll would be.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Can we at least get on that page?
Yeah, it is still fried.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't freak out like if they're in the case with the donuts. Like I'm like, okay, I guess I can see you in that realm.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna stick out too much. But like a cinnamon roll just looked like just the guy in the neighborhood that just didn't quite belong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're like you belong in like in this other case.
I'd be like, I could eat all of these while driving. I could not.
Yes.
So like that's where I think it's more of a like a savory or a sweet breakfast like accompaniment, much like pancakes.
I think you're on to something with like the muffin thing. Like I think it's in that same thing, but you can't put them in the same category because a muffin would be much more like a cake ish.
Well, up here with our Tim Hortons here, the cinnamon rolls are in with the muffins. Like
that's what I'm saying. I can get down with that. Like I can follow that.
Yeah,
I can follow
their
that.
stuff.
There's the
Tim
Timbits
Hortons
in the middle,
shit.
and then there's the apple fritters and.
Okay, I can get with that. But yeah, like the cinnamon roll, if they're just blatantly shoving them with the donuts, like that, don't do that. Like they don't like they deserve their own section. I think. So, anyways, public service announcement.
Argument here. I mean, if you're talking of how they're made. I mean, you're taking one out of the oven and one out of the fryer and then putting them into a case together. That is kind of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, is a pastry also a baked good? Like, there's so many.
I mean, there's
guys,
questions.
I mean, we could probably talk about this for another hour and a half.
Okay, so I would argue
go down a rabbit hole.
just one thing. So I would argue that a baked good would be something that, like, hey, we're having a bake sale.
Yeah.
If you brought donuts, you're that lazy piece of shit that brought donuts to the bake sale.
Yep.
Right? Like, you know, like we all have that.
Powdered ones.
We're not mad. We're not mad that they brought them.
Yeah.
But we're like, that's not what we were thinking of.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like if your mom is making it at home, to me, that's like a baked good. Right?
Yeah. But then when mom makes a cinnamon roll at home, I mean, it's
A cinnamon roll.
Get those. I don't know.
I don't know. All right.
I don't know.
I'm glad that you guys also felt that like I wasn't crazy for
Is
going
gum
through this.
candy?
Yeah, I guess.
They hand it out during Halloween. I
Yeah.
don't know if that helped.
Sometimes.
It's sold right next to the candy in the grocery store,
Well,
so I
you know
would
what, Drew,
consider it a
If
candy.
you go by that, Drew, up here where I work up here in Canada, in
they
the
hand out
small
little
town,
bottles of
they're
maple
known-
syrup.
They're known for apple stuff, so they actually give out apple fritters at Halloween.
Are you serious?
So yeah,
Dude,
I'm coming to Canada.
right? Like
Let's
Jesus
go.
Christ.
Give me like, can I get a walking fritter?
Are they
And-
like individually wrapped, or are they just like, hey, we're just grab yourself a fritter and go?
Well, it's a small little farming community, right? So they're just giving them out.
Okay. See,
Man,
here
my
we give
main
out
thing is,
full size
like,
candy
we're like-
bars.
We're doing this here later on at night. I got a Tim Hortons around the corner. They're all out of the stuff we're talking about. Now I want
Very true. Very true.
So sorry.
You gotta
We're
get that. You
over
gotta get
there.
that dad tax. That's like
Right.
that's why I had kids. You know what I mean, like that's literally it.
My kids will walk up to a house. They'll have like different tables, one for the kids and one for the adults.
Dude,
And
that's the best.
one of them hands out shots and the other one hands out
Yes. Dude, we had 3 tables like that last year, and they were tossing out fireball shots.
Those are the real MVPs.
Oh,
right
it's
there.
the best.
Yeah.
The best. Like I told my wife, I'm like, can I just stay at home and do that, like to other adults?
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
want to walk around. Like you can do that. Like I'll stay at home, pass out candy, and
I mean, COVID Halloween, I literally just had a cooler next to me, and any dad that or mom that came up that wanted a beer, I just handed one to.
well, that's all we did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a giant wagon. And I had a 30-pack back there
Yep.
on ice, and we just walked around and we call it sip and stroll.
Yeah, they really should make it open container now on Halloween because let
Basically,
the
is around
adults
here.
have fun.
It basically is.
Very true.
So, all right. So let's move over to we're gonna go on to doubles
Yeah, I guess.
after the random
Yeah.
cinnamon roll. Sorry about all that, folks. But if you're hungry,
You are now. Just grab a cinnamon
how
roll.
bad do you
I'm-
want a cinnamon roll?
I'm gonna get a
Right.
cinnamon roll tomorrow.
Oh, Dane, you just plop it in there.
Yeah, I was
Like
just
all like
yeah.
that?
I'm not gonna
Okay, not messing
not
around.
beating around the bush.
You're not beating around the bush.
I'm not.
Okay, go at it.
First pick overall for Dane Asp, Ellis Hart.
Boring.
Surprise, surprise.
They're decent.
Oh shoot!
And then Doug, you
Dougie
get to
Fresh.
follow me up.
I do, and I think I'm going to go Wiedenfield and Smith.
Interesting. I like it.
I like it too.
It's on me.
Yep. On
I'm
you.
going with Malone and Harbaugh.
Nice. Another good pick.
I feel like they've got to click one of these nationals, and I mean, obviously they're number 4 right now. So.
Yeah, I was super disappointed by Malone's like body language though in the finals of that match.
yeah.
I don't know, like, because it was such a close match. Like, it was such a good. Like, I know he was disappointed with obviously like how it ended and stuff, but like, I don't know, like, just be a professional a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, just don't just like go pout away and like, you know what I mean? Like, go grab your stuff. Like, just be a man and shake the hands. Like, you guys lost. It was a hell of a match. It was a really good
Oh, yeah.
match, and they're all Team Ultra, right? So like,
Yeah.
you're one big family.
Yeah, like give me
Right?
some of that check. No, they
I
don't,
think
they don't get to split it.
Think if he could just stay out of his own head and
Oh, yeah.
stay, and his blockers and airmails are right up there with Matt Guy and Jeremiah. I mean,
And he might be the best player at pushing through a bag as well. Like I think he's like
Him
the
and
kind of throw too. Like when you're new, go watch him throw. Like
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to look.
Smooth.
It is. My first pick is going to be Smith and Richards. I still think that they're one of the top 2 teams, if not the top team. So getting them at 4, I'm pretty happy with. Second pick.
Thought they might have come back around to me.
No. I'm trying to decide if I want to go for like a home run.
Don't. You do.
Scroll down a little bit.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to go Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I feel like they're due.
And when they're both clicking, man, they are.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like they haven't lived quite up to expectations. They're ranked 9th right now, which is good. I mean, obviously great, but I just feel like they're one of the top 4 teams in doubles when they're clicking. So it's gonna happen at one of the nationals. I feel like they're gonna make a broadcast. So why not this one?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On to you, Drew.
All right, I will take Matt Sorrells and Eric Davis. I was watching Sorrells play 2 weekends ago, and man, he might be back to vintage Matthew Sorrells. So.
He's playing a very simple game. You know what I mean? Like hasn't tried to overcomplicate it. Yeah. He's doing what he's always done. He just kind of makes it difficult to score on him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he always just kind of has a bag like in the front of the hole, and he's not afraid to rip an airmail. You know what I mean? And just.
And man, having Eric Davis throwing back takes a lot of pressure off you.
Oh hell yeah. You basically just don't give up points on your end.
Yeah,
just hold on for the ride and just enjoy the show and let Eric Davis do what he does.
Throw a plus .01 DPR, you should be good.
Yep, correct. Correct.
All right, Doug. It takes? Man.
Gonna go Alex Rawls and Derek Holland.
Nice.
You look upset, Sean.
Yeah, I think I looked over somebody that I think we're all gonna be like, wow, how didn't we pick them? I think Dane's gonna scoop them up right now. I think he's gonna get both teams that I was considering taking at the turn, so I'm just surprised they're both there. I'll be interested to see if he.
I mean, I'm gonna go Graham Modlin.
That's one of them, but the other one is. I'll be interested.
It's like, who is Sean thinking about that I could snipe right off the board from him? Well, I'm going to go with who I was originally going to pick, which is Jackson Gore and Sammy Soto.
That's a good pick. Again, they're one of those teams too. Like it would not surprise me at all if they put it all together.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think anyone wants it more than Jackson does.
Yeah. All right. Doug, back to you.
I think I'm going to look for a big tournament from Bernasette and Lopez Jr.
Yeah, they're a really interesting team, man. They made a run at last time pretty deep. So they're one of those teams. I think board condition plays a big factor too. The boards are playing fast. It's going to play right in their favor.
Bernassette's low key, like throwing
very
back
well,
to like his elite level again. So yeah, they're going to be a sneaky good one. That's a good pick.
I think even just being in with the Titan family there this weekend, I think that could rejuvenate a lot of those players.
Yeah,
100%.
And I'm a huge advocate of having two players that throw the same style and almost same bag.
Yes, correct.
I mean,
too.
Those two fit every mold together.
Yeah,
they're going to be hard on both ends.
I agree.
That's what she said.
No Diddy.
Yes.
Somebody said that the other day. I started laughing. I was like, I'm going to use it.
Was it Sean? I mean, I think him and I have both been saying it for a couple weeks now.
All right, Drew, it's on you.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the top 15, this team right here that I'm surprised hasn't been said, Fisher Hamilton and Gavin Connock.
I can't believe I thought they were going to last to me. I'm like, are you serious? They're going to fall this far? Wow. Okay. I mean, I think that they're going to win a national at some point this year.
Yeah.
I think they're too good. Like they've been there. Kano, I think he would break through in doubles before he would break through in singles.
And he's done the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like I said about the last team with Bernasette and Lopez, about two players that mesh so well together. Their throw styles are the same. The bag flights are the same.
Yep.
Hamilton and Kano are right there.
Correct.
I mean, they're the complete opposite of what Bernadette and Lopez are, but man, they are exactly identical to each other, and that makes them scary, especially being a sticky bag team. Blockers don't matter to them anymore. I think a lot of these young guys that throw sticky bags can figure out their way around it.
That they can.
Let's go up just a little bit.
No, Sean. What are your picks? You got back to back, and it's your finals.
Yeah, just give
Don't
me
mess it up.
Give me Walker and Ryan.
Okay.
And give me Wilson and Sims. I think it's time for AJ Sims to show up. Braden Wilson, rookie, been just killing
Throwing it out of his mind.
And they're like, I think that they have potential with Braden throwing so well. Like, this has been the partner that AJ has been looking for since Josh was throwing at his best. Because AJ Sims is like low key one of the most consistent ACL pros we've had over like the last 3 seasons. So this is his best partner. Like, if you're gonna get it done, like this, it's now or never for me. So like, let's see it now.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the last round.
Yep,
Last pick.
Drew, last pick for doubles here.
All right. So I've already got him in singles. And man, him teaming up with his son nowadays.
Guy Nation.
If they can make it, man, it's going to be fun to watch.
I completely agree. I think it would be a really big marketing opportunity. You know what I mean, for them to make it, because they're going to make it entertaining. You know, just their interactions with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and to see him do the Ric Flair again if a big shot comes,
yeah.
I think that's what a lot of the marketing people are looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna take Matt and Brett Guy and see if they can do something that a lot of us didn't know they had in them.
I think that sometimes the ACL can go back and watch some of those old broadcasts and learn some things, because those old broadcasts, they were smaller venues, like tighter spaces, but it made it seem big because it was so packed with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to like pan out and show 1,000 people. Like, you can show 100 people jam packed that are super into it, and that's going to mean more. It's going to I think it's going to translate better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you like pan to like a bowling audience.
Yeah, correct.
They're looking at the same 5 people over and over again, but hey, they're having a
they're
blast.
they're fucking balls deep.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
There's not an empty seat on that broadcast. That's
for sure.
good. When's the ACL going to let shirtless signs? You know, like Matt got 4 people saying.
Go a little Happy Gilmore route with that. Like, that's what we need. Yeah, for sure.
And Drew, you talked about Cherokee there earlier. Like, Cherokee was only like 3 people deep around the boards there, and it looked like you were like, 30 rows.
Oh, exactly. Yes, exactly. I think that's exactly what I'm referring to.
It was just a small stage. Yep. Like, you were up elevated, right? But still.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and like he was saying, Sean was saying, it looked packed. I mean, it looked good.
Doug, where are we at here?
I think this team's a top 20 team. I think they can probably be a bit higher. I'm going to go Tanner Halbert and Jacob Trzynski.
Good pick.
I thought about Jacob in singles, but I didn't.
He's had a really solid season so far.
And he's playing very well the last month.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think so many of these guys are having good seasons. It just all gets overshadowed because ELLIS has just been so good. You know what I mean? It's like same thing in the PGA Tour. Scotty Scheffler's just been so good. It overshadows like everyone else having like if you finish like second or third in your bracket, you had a really good fucking showing.
Absolutely.
Like, it means you were in the mix like when it mattered. You know what I mean? There's so many of these guys that are having good seasons, but everyone's like, well, ELLIS is going to win his third though. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
I don't know. Now that you mentioned it, somebody might get him arrested. So,
and I'm glad, right? With dude, fuck yeah. I think
there's a way to take them.
I'm so happy you're taking them.
Yeah,
because they were the one team I'm like, man, they deserve to be picked.
Oh yeah,
like, I know they haven't really shown up yet,
off the board. But I already typed it in. I'm going Hissner Birchfield. I just think they still have the electricity there.
I thought that's where Doug was going to go with his last pick.
I really thought so too, because I was thinking Halbert Trzynski coming finishing that way. But yeah, I mean, I'll flip flop it.
Yeah, I get it.
It started out hot. Let's see if they can bring it back.
Hell yeah. so wraps it up. So my team in singles is Ellis, Trader, Richards, Justin Burton Jr., Big Fish, and Hart. And then my doubles teams is Smith and Richards, JB Che and Chamberlain, Walker and Ryan, and Wilson and Sims. Dane?
For myself, singles, I have Jamie Graham, Tony Smith, Bernasette, Logan Chamberlain, Chris Roybal, Ryan Wiedenfeld. Doubles, I have Ellis, Hart, Graham Modlin, Gore Soto, and Hissner Birchfield.
Drew, you have Hissner, Braden Wilson, Alex Rawls, Matt Guy, Devin Harbaugh, and Cody Henderson. And then in doubles, you have Harbaugh Malone, Davis and Sorrells, Fisher and Kano as a steal in the fucking third, and then Guy Nation to round it off.
And then Doug, to close us out, you had in singles, Gavin Kano, Eric Davis, Sammy Soto, Trey Birchfield, Ethan Walker, Jordan Power, and rounded off in doubles with Smith Wiedenfeld. Smith.
He's the Irish version.
Oh, the Smith Wiedenfeld.
The most Irish team out there.
Rawls Holland, Bernasette Lopez Jr., and Halpert Trzynski.
Hell yeah.
Beautifully done, guys. These are some good picks.
So Drew, how is life outside of like the pro circuit now? Like, do you still get out and play quite a bit, or?
Yeah. I'd probably go out and play maybe once or twice a week still. It's nice. I mean, I've got a lot more family time. And I'll tell you one thing, I tell a lot of people, especially when I'm at work and they're asking why I don't play on tour anymore. Well, for one, I'm not as good as I used to be, but it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of practice. And then for anyone that thinks that these aren't athletes, that these are just, guys out playing cornhole, like, they're missing 4th of July's with their family. You know what I mean? There's a lot of summer activities that they're missing, and I'm able to spend that with mine now. With all that said, hell yeah, I fucking miss it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, I'm a huge competitor. And that's why I like to go out and play every once in a while still. I like to still prove to myself that I can play.
So how do you define, so obviously like when you were like a pro player, success has like a varied term, right? Like, so I think that level can be different for every person. So some people's success is like, it's only if I win a national. Some it's like, hey, I want to win 2 games, whatever it is. Now that you're not in the pro division, like how are you finding yourself like measuring success overall?
For myself
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to be a better person tomorrow than I am today. I know that sounds cliche, but I know a lot of these people are going through that have been on top of the world and the top of their game before and that don't have it anymore. There is a lot of mental, stamina that goes into that you may or may not lose. And, just trying to take it one day at a time, be positive. But I know one day that I'll be back. I'm sure I'll be back.
Hell yeah. Now, are you gonna, would you go to like the pro qualifier and stuff?
I will be. I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
But even to say if I make it, I don't know if I'll sign a contract to play again next year.
Sometimes it's just enough to know, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
I still got it.
Yeah. I still got the sauce.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I went last year and it was rough to say the least. I was expecting to play in the second flight, so I didn't drive up because I'm only 3 hours from there.
Okay.
So I didn't drive up until that morning, Sunday morning, and was hoping that I'd be in the second flight, the one that started at like noon.
Yeah.
But one that like started at like 8.
Good morning.
And that was rough, leaving at like 4 a.m. and then getting up there and then making it through the first 4 and then sitting all day till like 6 and then play again. It's mentally grinding. And I told somebody not too long ago, it's easier to be in there and stay in there.
Oh, 100%.
So, yeah, I mean, you're only competing against, needless to say, 256 of the greatest players in the country.
Yeah, correct.
But you're not competing against 800 of the hungriest players in the country. And it's tough to get in there, especially in that qualifier.
Can we workshop something as a group here? Just as like a little fun exercise to round this out?
Yeah.
Can we come up with a, like, let's think like a traditional, like, family sitcom, all right? But we're going to have ACL pros as the characters in our sitcom.
Oh, okay.
We're starting with a blank slate, so we're going to workshop this whole thing through.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can I start?
Please.
All right. So we're going to have like a traditional, like, but maybe a non-traditional family, right? But we need to have like a traditional, like, father figure, right? Like in any family sitcom, right? It's a pretty important role. I feel like Frank Modlin plays like the perfect sitcom dad, right? He's got the little twang. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like sitcom dad, like, I think Frank Modlin.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any arguments there? Like, can you think of somebody that would be better?
I mean, what if you're going like, I'm thinking sitcom route. There was a show called The Ranch, was like an older father. You could have like Damon Dennis being.
Yeah.
They're both senior players now, though, right?
Yeah.
Modlin and sorry, you know what I mean? Like,
but maybe Damon could just be like the
grandpa.
Yeah, the funny grandpa.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah,
I can get
he lives
that.
in the in-law suite out back. You know.
I feel like, and I don't really know this guy at all, but I want to get him on the show because he strikes me as being somebody that's like kind of sneaky funny, but like we have to have some like sort of like weird neighbor or friend, right? Somebody that's like a regular on the show. Steve Schrader, like, just strikes me as a super quirky dude.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel, I don't know why, but sitcom wise, like, you need some of those characters where like you're like, what the fuck just happened? And I feel like he would offer a little bit of that.
And then like on the opposite side, the other neighbor would be Chet Hunt. I think the dynamic would be really funny.
Yeah.
Bouncing between that.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, I like where this is going. Okay, so who's in the family with Frank Modlin?
So in the family,
like, who could like be his kids?
I think for the mother of the family,
Yes.
you have to go Rosie Streaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah, she's got that.
I think you have to.
She's got that mama bear feel to her.
All right, let's not jump to this though.
That's true.
I don't dislike that.
You thinking like Frank's like the widower to like this like blended family left behind, and you just have a bunch of
That's
like.
what I was kind of trying to think. Which way do we want to go with it?
You already killed off Rosie, Sean?
No, all right. Let's
She just
stick
got
with
cast.
Rosie. All right, we'll stick with Rosie. But there has to be another like strong, like either Rosie's sister or like a neighbor, like or like a best friend. And I'm trying to think like
Rosie's brother, that can't like.
yes, like the wacky brother, kind of like this always kind of like correct.
Cody,
Cody Henderson could be that like brother that
I
just
think
shows
I
up
think
time to time.
Cody
breaks the
Henderson.
fridge.
Cody Henderson would be like the son's best friend.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Like maybe that the family does like, but when you're not,
I'm thinking
them,
if we're gonna
some
stick with
nefarious
Rosie,
deeds.
you have to put Sam as like the wacky best friend that comes over,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you know what I mean, kind of like comedic. Like we gotta.
I
we
honestly
have to
think that could be like the kooky aunt. Like
Yeah, I could. Yeah, correct. No, I do like that. The wacky aunt. Yeah, for sure. For kids, I think the daughter. I would want Miranda Coy.
I mean, oldest son would be Jamie Graham.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I do kind of like that. Yeah, Graham. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then who would play Coy's boyfriend? The one that's like always around the house. You know what I mean? Like she's like, we'll have her play in the high school. Jamie just graduated. You know what I mean? He's like trying to figure out what he's doing with his life. Miranda's going to make it big.
I would say Devin Harbaugh.
Canadian pro Connor White.
Yes. Yeah. Either Devin Harbaugh or like
Connor Weiss.
Connor Weiss wouldn't be bad. Yeah, he wouldn't be bad.
I was thinking Trzynski could have been like the youngest brother.
I was thinking like Trey Hunt, a little bit old, like not like old, but like a little bit older than like you probably shouldn't be dating someone in high school. You know what I mean? But
He like just turned 21. It's like 17's a little.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else that like character wise I would want to be?
Well,
in
you know
the
what?
show?
For another wacky neighbor.
Yes.
You've had him. You've talked to him on your show here on one of the tournaments.
Yeah.
Dion Kuza.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. He could be any role. Like you just need like he could be like any.
He's the backyard neighbor that just pops his nose up like Home Improvement.
Yes,
you can only see the top, but he's got that great accent.
I think Frank would go to work. I think like his job would be another focal point of it.
Yeah.
So like his boss, I'm trying to think. I could picture him working for like Adam Hissner. Hissner just kind of, or no, actually, Adam would be a coworker.
Yeah.
Adam would be the coworker, and I think I would have either.
Yeah,
like
Matt
somebody
Guy
like
could kind of play like a villainous.
yeah,
like, boss.
I do like that.
And then
actually,
Brett Guy could be his direct manager.
Yes,
you know.
Yeah, correct.
And then so Frank could be like the straight laced worker, and then Adam be the guy that's always getting on.
Yeah, and they all work
The
at
boss.
UPS, and Jeremiah Ellis is just the
and the
kooky
lady
driver.
and the lady answering the phone is Deb Odom.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's just sweet.
Actually,
as pie,
I want
just-
Deb Odom to be like the narrator of the show.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like,
Actually, the whole show is from her perspective.
yes, yeah, correct.
Right.
And is she the grandmother then?
No.
Like
I
how
think she's-
like a
I think
third
it's even
person?
funnier if you just leave her as like just
Just a
like the
random-
receptionist.
Yeah, okay.
But it's all from her point of view of this weird family.
I like that. Hell
And
yeah.
dynamic.
Or their mail lady that that she just witnessed a lot.
Yeah,
throughout the-
exactly.
I like that.
She just stands there looking at the windows the whole time.
Listen, I
Don't
think
you have a job?
I'm proud of us. That was pretty
That
good.
was pretty good.
We're gonna keep doing these kind of extras, but I'm gonna make it like super specific
Of
for
course.
some of us. But
Yeah, I think we
for
need to
going through them-
recast the Avengers. I think that could be
Yeah,
a good
for a
one.
blank slate, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
like that was I love doing
It's a good
stuff like that.
workshop.
Hell yeah. Well, boys, hey, thank you very much for joining us. This was fun. I love doing this kind of stuff for the draft. Drew, obviously, thank you for all the content you've always put out, man. And thank you for coming on the show. Like when we were first starting out, man, like you were one of the ones that kind of took a chance and spent some time with us, and we appreciate it.
Most definitely. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys asking me and making me think I'm still relevant. So,
Well, you know your stuff, man, and like again, you've played against these guys, so it's nice to get somebody else on that has firsthand experience of the skill that it takes. So.
I think a lot of people don't realize that I've been in this game too for almost 20 years, and
Yeah.
I was partnered with Matt and Brett back in 2015 and 2016, and yeah, I mean, I know a lot of the old school players. I know most of the new school players. There's always that fresh young 13-year-old that comes out and smokes everybody that out of
Correct.
nowhere. But yeah, I mean, I've drank beer with a lot of these guys, stayed in hotels with them, and played cornhole against
Not
them.
the 13-year-olds, though.
Yeah.
All right, we just wanted to say that. All right.
No,
Some of them, though. All
Look at
right.
that beer, abundantly clear. Thank
Right.
you.
I think it was water. I don't remember.
Their dad gave it to them. It's fine.
Correct.
It's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to making more content with you guys.
Hell yeah, man.
For years, and yeah, it's awesome. Thank you guys.
Of course, man. Corndoug, always a pleasure, dude.
Appreciate you,
I
man.
just got to say, people check out ACL Canada June 14th to 16th. We've got open in St. John's. We'll be on the ACL Canada Facebook page. I'm not sure where else we'll be. And then June 13th, the Thursday before that open, we're going to be selecting our 6 players to go to the WCO event in Germany, I believe it is this year.
Sweet.
Awesome.
To
Hell yeah.
play in the world event. So
Hell yeah.
we're doing live feeds out there, and we'll see who qualifies for that.
Hell yeah. Well, again, we have a bunch of content coming up. We haven't quite decided yet what we're going to do, but we do have an interview with Tony Forbes and Brent Loghry. He's the owner of Brotherhood Cornhole. That might come next. If not, then it's going to be an interview early next week. And then we'll also be joined by owner of Ultra Cornhole, Mark Pryor, kind of his right-hand man right now, Rich Norman, and then 2 of his decent players, Jeremiah Ellis and Devin Harbaugh.
Never
So
heard
that'll
of her.
be our episode next Wednesday as I'm gallivanting around Disney World with the fam. So,
Magic place, Sean.
all right, folks. Well,
Dreams
guys,
come
thank you
true.
very much for joining us. I'll be back in a few weeks.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bill Walton.
Yes, R.I.P. Bill Walton. Yep. Hell yeah. All right. So, as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. All right, welcome back to the Big Asp Cornhole podcast, where we're now joined by Mr. Tony Forbes and Mr. Brent Loghry. What's going on?
Hey,
How
what's
we
up,
doing?
guys?
Pretty good, guys.
Good. Did I nail the last name, though?
You did. You
All
got
right,
it there.
Look, all right. See,
Man,
I had to write it down
Such a
phonetically just to make sure I
Yes.
get it right, because like I am known for, did you see how I
see
spelled it?
yeah.
Loghry.
I'm surprised you actually wrote in the 3. I thought you were just going to go with the number.
I was
but
going to,
That's
but
all right.
I didn't want to like halfway through be like, why did I write a 3? Like, oh shit, you're recording. kind of thing. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. So I know it's earlier in the evening for you guys, right? What's like 5:30 ish, right?
Mhm.
You guys,
Say
California.
about 5:40, yeah.
I gotcha. Where in California are you guys based out of?
I'm out of San Diego, just north of San Diego. I'm in Murrieta, California. It's about 60 miles north of San Diego.
Okay, Tony, what about you?
And then I'm closer to Sacramento. So
Oh, okay.
I'm right between Sacramento and San Francisco in a city called Vacaville.
Okay, cool, good deal. So Tony, you've been kind of like bursting onto the scene this year, like big time, right? It started off with some success on the broadcast, like through juniors, and then just this last week, winning pro shootout. So we'll get to all that stuff. How did you even get started playing? Like, I'm assuming you play other sports as well.
So I do play baseball.
Okay.
When I first started this sport, I just saw it on TV. I thought it was a cool thing. We had some boards in the garage. I was like, might as well try it.
Okay.
I started during the pandemic when we just had time to waste. So, I'd go outside every day, probably 4 or 5 hours, and just throw all day. And then had a baseball coach that was running tournaments locally, and I said, why not give it a try? Came out, and I was already not bad at it. And I've been playing for about 3 years now, so experience definitely helps.
Yeah. Did you find it nerve-wracking at all? Like, was there, because obviously, like, you've been on the spot, like you've done the broadcasting before, right? So you've already been there. So like, was there any difference between the feelings that you had going into like the pro shootout broadcast versus like when you were doing like the junior stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. So playing on a broadcast, just like open area, I honestly think it's fun. I like being in that area, but playing on the big stage, I was definitely shaking a little bit. I can tell you that I was definitely shaking a little bit, but
okay.
After a couple rounds, it kind of faded off.
You just get locked in a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. You kind of lose like sight of everything around you. All you really see is the board and the bags.
I gotcha. So you said you play baseball. Do you play for your high school team?
I do play for my high school team. I'm in my junior year right now. We're almost done with the year, but next year I'll be going into my senior year.
Okay. What position do you play? Are you pitcher or?
I'm a pitcher, yeah.
Okay. Are we getting any looks for beyond high school?
It's definitely something to look at, but I'd have to put a lot of work in for this next season to get any of those looks for sure.
What's the go-to pitch?
I'm gonna say definitely low and away fastball. I'm a contact pitcher, but I love the curveball on 0-2. Definitely back foot.
Okay,
I like it. Yeah,
back foot on 0-2.
Dane was a pitcher many moons ago.
Yes,
many moons ago.
Yeah, I had an old Barry Zito hook. That thing would break about 2.5 feet. It was disgusting.
Oh yeah,
but it ruined my arm. It ruined my arm.
So do you have any so you have like this baseball thing. Obviously you love baseball growing up and you find success in this cornhole thing. Well, now all of a sudden, like, it's not unheard of to get like college scholarships and like go play cornhole in college. Is that something you're pursuing at all or considering?
That's definitely another thing on my mind. And it's very possible, but, I'm probably going to wait for like this next half year to try to figure out what really will benefit me the most.
Okay.
Try to figure out like what will overall help me at best.
Would you consider going pro next year if you qualified for it?
It's definitely a 50-50. If I did qualify for it, I really have to think about it because there's so many things you have to think about, knowing you have to travel these times. And I'm still going through my senior year of high school. So I definitely have to make sure I know I can go here, I know I can go there, and not being too behind on school.
What do your friends at school think about like that you're just like a badass in cornhole? Like,
well, it's crazy because the funny thing is the whole school knows.
Yeah, it's. So, if you make it on ESPN, like everyone's gonna know. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
So my friends thought it was stupid, and then as soon as they figured out that there was money a part of it, they thought it was pretty cool. But
yeah, for sure. And they thought it was stupid because like they weren't good at it the first time they tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they tried it like, well,
but doesn't it suck that like do your friends actually face you at all ever? Or do they just know that
no, never.
Exactly that
they'll
sucks?
Come out and they're like, "Oh, you suck," this and that, just like joking around. Then they're like, "Oh, wait, this is kind of hard."
Have you tried like recruiting any of your buddies to like come like play competitively?
I do have one guy who ended up. I do have one guy that did actually want to start coming out, and he has gotten a lot better. His work ethic is insanely crazy. So he started maybe a year ago. And he was probably throwing, 3s and 4s consistently. All of a sudden now he's throwing like a 9.
Okay. Wow. Shit. I'm still not there.
So yeah, he's gotten
5 years later, I'm still seeking that, but I'll find it someday, maybe.
So what do you, so you're having like all this successes this year. what are?
No, I'm back. I'm back.
Are you okay? You're good. Okay, we're paused though. Can you guys hear us? Okay.
Wait.
Can you guys hear
I
us?
see
Okay
movement
now.
now. There
we should
go.
be good now. All right.
Yep.
I think everything cut off. Can you guys hear us?
It's saying my.
All right, we're back.
We got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry, it said my internet connection was unstable. Probably
It's my
because Sean
phone.
touched his phone. I don't
Dude,
know what
my
it is.
phone
Man.
and his internet do not get along, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna get off right now. And it always works.
Oil and water.
It's
I
gonna be
don't
crazy.
understand it.
All right, so you're in school right now. You're going into your senior year. Obviously, like pretty busy schedule, especially with being an athlete for the school. How do you find time to practice? Like, do you practice now? Like, or what do you consider practice? Yeah.
Oh no, I don't. I don't practice at all.
Yeah. Do you just go to blind draws, go to regionals, or?
Exactly. I mean, I play we have all kinds of switch Elios in our area.
Okay.
I mean, I probably play at best maybe 4 times a week, but normally about 2.
I mean, that's still. I mean, come on.
Twice more than
I play
get to
twice
play.
a month if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Twice a month. I was gonna say
Okay.
twice
every
a year.
Yeah, twice a quarter actually. Yeah, it's probably twice a quarter if I'm lucky, kind of thing. So that's
Wow.
okay. So you're still getting out decent.
If I really wanted to, I could play every day, but I just don't have the time for that.
Do you like it enough to play every day? Or is it like, obviously you like it because you're good at it and like it's fun winning and doing all that stuff. But like, is it a passion of yours or is it something that you found that like you just happen to be really good at?
Well, I can tell you, I definitely do love the game, but playing every day and playing something consistently, because sadly we really just get Switch Elios in the area. It's hard for us to find a tournament that's not a Switch or a blind draw. So I honestly don't know if I could do that every day.
Yeah.
But I could probably, if I'm feeling good and I'm throwing really well, maybe some big tournaments coming up, I guess I can go out there and play 3-4 times a week. But I mean, I'd rather just play maybe 2-3 times a week.
What would you? All right, so you hypothetical here, and you can't take the easy way out because that's not fun. All right,
Yeah.
You get 2 offers in the mail tomorrow. One's for a full ride baseball scholarship. One's for a full ride cornhole scholarship. Different schools. All right, what are you going with?
Probably baseball.
Okay.
I mean, I've been playing baseball for 14, 15 years.
I get it.
Okay, not 14, 15, but 10, 11 years, and I've been playing cornhole for 3 years. If I get a baseball scholarship, good chance I'll go with that.
No, listen, man. Like we both grew up playing baseball. It's like such a great game. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you didn't grow up playing it, like I feel like it gets lost to translation a little bit. But I'm coaching my kid's t-ball team. Like I told him the other day, I'm already getting the fire. First time I put the glove back on, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm back.
I have like a weird story, but I was perusing the internet earlier, and they had this short video of San Jose State, the female softball team, pitching against the men's football team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was just sitting there watching this, and every guy struck out except for the last dude for the football team, and he stepped up and yacked the first pitch, like well over the fence.
Yeah.
Trots around the bases, and at the end they like gave him a little interview, and he's like, dude, I grew up playing baseball my whole life and played my senior year of football. I'm stuck playing football, but I love baseball. It's just exact moment. Like that's exactly how I feel with your situation with cornhole and baseball. I mean, go with the passion from a young age. I mean, you can only live it for so long.
It's just a lot going on.
It is. You have a crazy schedule.
Oh yeah.
So Brent's just sitting there, just being all quiet, just being all professional. So
we just wanted to make him wait.
I know, just like put him on ice a little bit.
How long can we hold him off?
Okay, talk to me about Brotherhood and like how this all kind of started up, because I'll be completely honest, we've been doing this for 5 years. I didn't really take notice of you guys until last summer when I went to a blind draw in Delaware of all fucking places, and everyone was throwing their bags. And I'm like, that's so weird. Like, I haven't really heard of them. And then I did a little research while I was there. I'm like, they're from fucking California. Why the fuck in Delaware? It's so weird. Like, so completely random, but everyone was throwing the Guardian. So I got to throw them a bunch that night. I'm like, oh shit, these are really nice. And I think I reached out to you the next day. And I'm like, listen, man, I just got done throwing your bag like all over the place. Like, can we work? Like, what's going on here? So how did you come up with all this stuff?
Well, my father-in-law and I are business partners, and he lives in Delaware. So that's where the Delaware tie comes in.
Okay.
He's out of Dover out there.
Okay.
And so, it's funny. We were out there one Christmas, and I had retired from the Marine Corps, and I said, I want to find a way to get back to charity. And we both loved cornhole. I fell in love with cornhole back in, 2017.
Okay, so you've been around for the game for a while then.
Yeah, I didn't even know what the damn game was. My dad said we were going to play at my uncle's house, and I said, what the hell are we playing, man? I don't know what the hell that shit is.
Correct.
So So we get out there and these guys are throwing like 4 boards out there, playing a big tournament in the garage and everything. And I'm like, what the heck? So, but anyway, I found, I came back out to California. I was like, there's got to be people around here that play. And then next thing you find different groups that are playing and so on. And
that early California group there, that was a fun bunch. The early California cornhole crew, that's a fun bunch.
Don Cornelius and Dirty Bags and a bunch of these guys. They're still around. I love these guys. Good crew. But yeah, we were out there and I said, hey, let's maybe make some bags and see if we can get back to charity doing it, you know? And honestly, I was working for Department of Homeland Security at the time. Just thought, hey, cool little hobby.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's start some bags. And we started, I remember we bought a sewing machine to set on the table in the kitchen and what the hell are we doing, man? And I fast forward to, if I could show you my shop, dude, you'd be like, and it's only been a couple years since we started. And man, we've just grown immensely. I mean, so much that I just resigned from my government job last week. Was my last day, and I'm doing this full time now. As
a guy who does a cornhole podcast and wants to do this for a living, I love hearing that stuff. I like people because obviously you. All right, so let's change gears just a little bit. So obviously you quit your full time job. You're doing this now. What you must clearly be confident in the direction everything's going. Would that be accurate?
I think I'm very confident in the direction we're going. I think that I'm confident in the people that surround me, man. I would not be here without the Tony Forbes of the Spencer Fabianar, Mike Fabianar, his dad, and the families that support these kids. And if you notice my team's like 90% kids.
Yeah.
Honestly, and man, I have some great talent on my team. And what's even better is
I was gonna say you're not Mark Isley, so I'm not alarmed, but it's all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're better people. They're better kids than they are cornhole players, which does a lot for them. I mean, I really do. I love my team. I think of them as my own children. And I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. And we've just really grown immensely over the last year and a half, 2 years. I mean,
what do you attribute that to?
Crazy.
I mean, obviously, guys like Tony using your bags, doing very well. That's a part of it, right? But obviously, to grow to the level you guys have, it takes a lot. I mean, look at Best of the Bags. I mean, you guys made a really deep run. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have some things that I like to keep under wraps as far as the way I think that to grow it, But overall, I think just exposure with these guys being on broadcast, sponsorship. Sponsoring events, getting your name out there. I sponsored multiple opens this year. Ultimately I look at it as you got to spend money to make money.
You guys also have a killer logo. Your guys' logo is killer. It's very it's just very recognizable. You know what I mean? Simple. You know what I mean? I like it a lot.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So you guys go from a sewing machine on your kitchen table, right? And then you fast forward, and then you decide to go this big step into hey, we're gonna get this stamp thing from the ACL and go this route. How big of a decision was that? Because when you decide to go that route, you're firmly taking a step into that professional realm, right?
Yeah. It's it's been multiple steps that are okay, are we going the right direction? You know what I mean? I can tell you right now, there was points last year where I was sitting there going, man, are we doing the right thing here? Are we really doing the right thing, spending all this money for the ACL and stamp and you name it and everything else? And I just, my dad and I talked about it and we said, just trust the process. It's not going to happen overnight. Just trust the process. We had a plan to build what we've been building and just trust the process and, stick with it. And, fast forward to now, I cannot. I'll be honest with you. I can't believe that I've resigned from my job and that this is my full time gig now. It's pretty, it was scary.
It is,
and on the other hand, exciting. It's exciting. I've been in the government service for 30 years.
Well, thank you for that.
To step away from that, is a big deal.
For sure.
So,
well, again, it's refreshing to hear someone that's confident enough in not just what you guys are doing, but the overall growth of the game. Because if everyone stops playing, it's not great to have a cornhole bad company, right? You need, obviously we want the general direction to kind of go. The one thing as a business, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think one thing that I feel that I excel at is evolving. Because if you can't evolve with the things that are going on around you, then you're not going to make it. And that's just my opinion. I think that, as things evolve, the games evolve, the bags have evolved, you know what I mean? Look at designs, everything, and if you can't stay fresh, you can't stay on top of the game, you're not going to make it. In my opinion, you're just
if you look at without naming names, I mean, there's certain very big name bag companies that I think we're seeing that very same thing. They thought that, hey, just because we make this one type of bag, that's going to kind of carry us through. And then they're like, oh shit, no one's buying this bag because everyone else is making really good bags now. And now they're kind of going through like this rebranding process, and they might be behind the 8 ball a little bit. But one thing, like as a ACL, like pro bag, like you're getting the pro stamp, right? Is this like this water you have to navigate of pro sponsorship, right? And it's a difficult one, right? Not to make it super awkward for Tony, right? But like, how did you and your dad decide to like approach this arena? Like, did you guys have like an allotted amount that you guys were thinking of doing it? Like, where's like, like how did you decide who you guys wanted to target? Like, just walk us through that process the best you can.
I think, man, that's a tough one. I think that somebody gave me some really good advice, and I'll throw his name out there, Bobby Tovar. Okay. We were riding to Bag Mania. I picked him up from the airport. We were going to Crown City's big tournament out here, and I was talking about, hey, maybe reaching out to some pros, you know what I mean, and everything else, and looking at maybe sponsoring some big time pros and putting out a good amount of money. And Bobby told me, he's like, man, don't do that. He's like, these kids are where it's at. These kids are where it's at. These kids are going to grow the game. You find these kids and they'll grow with you. And I took that to heart. And that was before I sponsored Spencer. Spencer was my very first sponsorship. Him and, Asher Plummer, that's out of Reno, Nevada, or out of Nevada.
Okay.
And, I took that to heart and I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. And Spencer came out and won Bag Mania at the time. And I grabbed him and I said, hey, man, to be honest with you, I don't even have a bag that you throw, because he was throwing the BG Vikings at the time. I said, but I'd love to take care of you, as a player and everything. And at that time, he was getting ready to have a voice or a call with Lucky Bags.
Okay.
And I said, well, Lucky's going to give you an offer probably that I can't match. I said, but how would you feel about growing with a company? You know what I mean? And being kind of that, building that company with you. And he's been with me since day one. And him and his dad called me back later that next morning before they even had the call with Lucky and said, hey, we're going to go with you. And I thought, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've had some interactions with his dad. Seems like a really good guy. I've had some interaction with his dad.
Yes.
So
yeah,
his dad seems like a very cool dude.
Mike's an awesome guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So but yeah, just started there, man. And then a couple pros later, I got Frank Verona out of New York. Mm-hmm. I met him at Bag Mania. Okay. And next thing you know, we're at Worlds, and I shot him an offer, and I know a couple other companies were looking at him at the time, and I honestly didn't think I had a dog's chance in the world at getting him. Yeah. And next thing you know, we talked, and he really liked what we stood for and everything else, and he jumped on board with us.
It's also pretty impressive that
I have some really great people.
I was just gonna say, all the guys that so far that I've known that are on your team that we've talked to, you have a very good young crew of like personable dudes, which like in
jury's still out on Tony.
Yeah. He's doing okay.
I'm just kidding.
But like, I'm getting like, again, like in today's, again, not to be like old man on but like in today's society, like you get like the cool thing for a lot of the younger dudes is like to not care, right? The more you don't care about something, like the cooler you are. But like, I mean, you have some really well-spoken guys that aren't like, it's refreshing to see, you know what I mean? Like to me, it's like you pick the right guys.
I pride myself on it. I think that I really strive to grab, players that are well spoken, good manners, and to me that's important. Coming from a Marine Corps background, that kind of stuff's important to me.
No, it makes sense. It does. It definitely makes sense. So Tony, how did you did you get any? I guess backlash is like a harsh word, right? But going along those terms, did you get any backlash for winning like the pro shootout from like pro players? Like, did you hear any like complaints or anything like that? I'm just interested from what you would hear.
Thankfully, no. It was just a lot of congratulations because I mean, me and Quinn, I think we were the first elite players to win to win 1, a bracket, and 2, to win the whole thing.
Correct.
Yes.
That would be correct.
It was, I mean, people were kind of more surprised than they were like more complaint. So I was kind of happy about that, because after winning that, I was thinking, oh, somebody's going to come at me. Oh, you're not a pro, this and that. But no, nobody really came at me like that. It was just a lot of congratulations, and I thought you did really well and all that.
Dane had a good analogy. You compared it to something in golf, right?
Yeah. Well, I just kind of said like same as like the amateurs, like qualifying and getting into like the Masters and stuff. Like there's those amateurs. I mean, it's kind of the same equivalency, but we've never seen.
Well, yeah, because like, listen, you give that like for especially for the Masters, right? Like you have like the low amateur.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, it's like a big honor. Like like they're not going to win, but like we'll let them play. You know, kind of thing. So I think there's a little bit of that with the ACL with how they're marketing like this elite plan, because like part of their marketing thing is like, hey, you guys pay, and then we're going to give you an opportunity. If you play well enough, if you believe in your heart of hearts, you're good enough, you can go through and qualify and then go to the pro bracket and then maybe win the whole fucking thing. It's not going to really happen. Like, you know, like I can picture them sitting around the meeting, like it's not actually going to happen.
But you never know.
But it did. And like now I feel like it's just super interesting, and you guys have an opportunity to go win a lot of money.
Well, to me, those are
at the end of the
big.
season.
Oh, yeah.
Like at first, I kind of thought like for the ACL, I'm like, is that really a bad look? Because it's a weird look. We hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And I was a little concerned, like, man, what is the metric of that to like the public? Well, then I realized that the public doesn't really tune into much cornhole, if we're being honest. So I think it's actually a win for the ACL, because you're going to have a lot more participation on that elite level because you boys went and took that thing home.
Correct. I think it is. I think it's good and bad for the ACL, because I think I do agree. Elite participation could theoretically go up from
But
that.
now you're also going to have those guys maybe not as interested in shooting for that pro status because maybe they believe in their skill
And
enough.
a lot of people are going to go.
But
for
soon
the
enough, that elite
status
level,
instead.
we know how cornhole goes. It's going to be just as hard of a gauntlet as the pro level, if it isn't already. I mean,
I think it's very
so
cool.
that'll be interesting.
I think it's very cool. That's the one thing that's very cool about our sport is that, don't take this the wrong way, but like a guy that's not a professional player, right? So we'll say you're the guy off the street, can go to a professional tournament and win the fucking thing. And you're competing against guys like that's what they do for a living right now is throw beanbags at a board, and like you were still able to walk in. So like it's like I don't think a big enough deal was made about like you guys winning. Like the more like I keep thinking about it, I'm like it's a really big deal that like amateur players walk in to the pro's house and they take it down. Like now again, round limited, different format, I get it, but still like you guys and you guys took down like you didn't have exactly an easy path. You know what I mean? You guys had to take down Smith and Richards, and then you guys had to go take on ELLIS and Hart, who are decent. You know what I mean? Like it's you guys earned it that day, so it's super impressive. And I don't know if you guys have got enough attention because of that.
Well, I definitely thought. Well, my mindset going into that was, I mean, really, if you look at the seeds and all that, we're not supposed to win.
No, you're not.
So going into that, I'm thinking, oh, there's no stress at all.
Yeah.
And I've played every one of these guys, and so is Quinn. So I was thinking, oh, I mean, it's not that we can't win. It's just that people aren't going to see us as even having a chance of winning. So going into that, I mean, it made me just want to win even more.
I mean, after you guys beat Tony and Mark, like I was cheering for you guys because like I wanted a refund from DraftKings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, go like if you're gonna take down my dudes, like go all the way. And you guys
we're also from Cleveland. We always cheer for the underdog.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, it's
Hell
just
yeah.
in our blood.
Hell yeah. Are we still good? Can you guys still hear us and everything?
No, we lost them again.
Oh man, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what
There
gets
you go.
recorded.
There we go.
Oh, it'll record us. Like,
Yeah, I know.
We'll hear everything.
So when it cuts out, we can hear you guys. Like just be like, oh, they lost us, but like the recording won't catch you guys. It'll only catch us. So it's just gonna catch our random conversation. Be like, oh, well, they can't hear us, and so we're back. So, all right. So we're gonna change it up just a little bit here.
What?
All right. I want to go over. I want to put. We can do this either as tier, or we can just collaborate as a list.
Okay.
Do you want to start off with a collaboration? Just kind of get them loosen up a little bit.
Yeah. Let's do a collaboration.
All right. Best fictional sports teams from movies, TVs. All right.
So what are we?
So
are we
can I
going?
start you off?
But are we? Let's set a bar here. Are we going for like the best performing, or are we just thinking like
It can be
the ones
as
you want
always
to play on?
to however you want to argue it.
All right.
Fair enough.
Touche.
All right, so I'll start us off. I'm going with a team that struck fear in the hearts of many of us as we were growing up, at least in our age. They played in the Junior Goodwill Games.
D2,
led
Ducks.
by Gunnar Stahl, the Iceland hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, that's just like, we're talking about badass fucking teams.
Yeah.
I mean, USA winning. I mean, they didn't have Julie the Cat.
Exactly. Until they met Julie the Cat Gaffney. All right.
I'm just saying.
They had him.
I'm saying. And they're like,
she shut him down.
Their trainer was smoking hot.
Triple
so.
D glove side.
Yep.
All right. He's fancy with it.
For sure. And I'll always know that Iceland is nice and Greenland's covered in ice.
Look at that.
That's something I always remember.
And educational.
Geography, correct.
What a great movie.
All right. Do you have a team?
I mean, first one that came into mind, I got to go with Remember the Titans, man.
Okay, it's solid.
Yeah.
Just like that football team, man. It reshaped history.
I would have
in a
given you
movie,
so many
Sean.
bonus points if you remembered the high school.
No.
Okay. All right. It's fair enough.
Sorry.
I didn't
It's
remember it
been a
either,
minute,
but
yeah.
it's all right. All right. Let's hear you guys. Let's hear a fictional sports team that you're a big fan of.
Well, I was going to go with remember the Titans too. That's the one I dig.
Hell yeah. It's a good one.
I always liked was it I think it was Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Cubs.
Always
The
Yeah.
liked-
Cubs. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
I
great
always liked
team.
that.
Yes, where they came up with the genius idea of hot ice.
Yeah.
You heat up the ice
Gardner.
cubes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
I think another one we could throw in there.
Yeah.
Another team that just great underdog, David versus Goliath story. But this is the David and said story, Little Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Icebox come off the cheerleader squad and fill in and take
that
them to
was always
victory.
that. I always
All right?
liked that. I always liked
Classic.
that.
It was very solid. What about the best fictional baseball team of all time? The
Ooh.
Cleveland Indians.
Moneyball.
Yeah.
Cleveland Indians.
The
were,
Wild Thing.
I mean, they
Oh,
were
yeah, man.
they were pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. Can't beat them.
I mean, I also think Angels in the outfield.
I mean, well, they have angels on their side, so I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's cheating almost. But yeah, I mean, it does count.
I mean,
I
we
mean,
had
you
Ricky
get
Vaughn,
the angels.
so,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. I mean, you do
They
get
are
the
part
angels.
of it. I mean, or the Sandlot crew.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
One of them grew up to play in the MLB.
Very true. Very true.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we did this like idea when we were doing the cornhole when we were doing the draft, right? And we were kind of workshopping it because I wasn't sure how it was going to work. I think it ended up working out pretty well. So what we're doing is we're creating a fictional sitcom, all right? But the actors are cornhole players, all right? Like our cornhole like pros, right? So I was trying to think of like a good sitcom or movie that we can go with.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tony's too young for the show.
Let's
Are you
see.
familiar with a show called Boy Meets World?
I've never heard of that.
Oh man, Brent, are you familiar?
I'm familiar, but I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think I've seen maybe one
So
episode.
we've got like an age gap in there, Sean.
All right, so give me a movie
Can't go
then,
on that one. Give you a movie if you said sitcom.
or either one.
I mean, we'll just do something more recent. Just do like The Office or something.
Does everyone know? Does
Do you guys
everyone
know The Office?
Yeah, I know The Office.
I've definitely seen The Office, but I didn't watch it consistently. So
Fair enough.
It might have to be the one.
Okay, let's do it. All right, so lead us off.
All right.
You can pick a character and name a player.
I think. Ooh. Jim Halpert. Tanner Halpert.
I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of like it.
Because he does have the face for it.
You think? I was thinking somebody completely different. I was actually thinking of someone on Team Brotherhood for Jim Halpert.
Say it.
I don't know.
Or forever hold your peace.
No, it's okay. We can go there.
Just say it.
That's
We're workshopping, Sean. You can't just take the first answer to workshop. That's not how it works.
Who would you have play Dwight?
Dwight's a weird one. You guys have any recommendations for a weird guy in cornhole?
I want to.
Jimmy Humans?
What about Ryan Windsor?
Ryan
Windsor could
Windsor's
be- I was also thinking, what's it?
instead of beats, it's cornhole.
He's got glasses. Oh my god, why am I thinking out? He's the kid that got in all the trouble for running that gambling stuff.
Caleb Avery.
I think could be a good Dwight.
Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, Caleb Avery.
Right? I feel
That's
like
not a bad idea.
I feel like it could work.
I think Mose could be Emfer.
But you don't think like Frank Verona Jr. could play Jim Halbert?
Honestly, I just don't know Frank that well.
Okay. I just feel like tall.
I
He's got the
need to.
hair. Got a little bit. He's got the hair. I don't know.
Possibly.
For Creed, give me Jay Dotson.
Yeah, he's a little too outspoken though. I was thinking more like Bob Vonch.
Ooh, yeah,
Just
but he's not a
one-
pro anymore though.
Doesn't matter.
All right, yeah, you can go. Okay, you can
He's
go Bob
etched
Vonch.
into the lore.
Okay, I like Bob Vonch there. Let's see who other main characters. All right, Pam. Who's playing Pam?
Ooh,
This is always
Gina Ramirez.
maybe. I mean Cheyenne because she's redhead.
She's redhead.
Yeah, maybe Cheyenne.
Could be.
I think.
Do we have any redhead women pros?
Not
I mean,
really.
Cheyenne would be strawberry blonde, I guess, perhaps.
Who was the girl? Who was the lady that won women's and it was like her birthday or something?
Katie Matthews.
Doesn't she have red hair? Is she redhead or is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she's from Oregon.
Okay, yeah.
I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Kelly
To be completely honest, like I just completely lied about
Kelly
it.
Kapoor would be Miranda Coy.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think Jackie Sayasound, maybe.
Chit chatty the whole time. I mean, I thought it could be Miranda
It
Coy.
could be. Or Lori Dewell.
She'd be like Angela.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yes, correct. Very true. Very true.
Tiny little curmudgeon.
Let me pull up. Let me see. Okay. We're going to do a tier talk. All right.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar? How do these work? Tier talk. All right. So you're gonna go like you're gonna give us like a 3, 2, and a 1, right? Your one's like your top. You can give us some honorable mentions and stuff with you if you want.
Yes.
Do you have any ideas this week?
No, did you have one?
No, I didn't have one off the top of my head.
All right. Tier talk. We're gonna go ice cream flavors.
Okay.
It's summertime,
Oh,
right?
Oh,
Ice cream
I
flavors.
think we just
I like
launched
that.
it.
Okay.
Am I starting off?
Yeah, I mean you always start off tier
You
talk.
always put me on the spot. All right. Let's see. Honorable mention. Just because it's got like everything in it that you could possibly enjoy. Give me Moose Tracks. It's got the
Okay.
peanut butter cup, the chocolate, the
okay.
vanilla.
Yeah, Moose is pretty
Throw
good.
it all together. Yeah, sign me up.
No one really knows why they call it Moose Tracks, but we just go with it. You know
Because
what I
it
mean?
looks like Moose Tracks. It's got
Yeah, I
the
never
prints
thought
in
about
it
that.
plus the little poos.
Is that why?
Yeah, that's Moose Tracks, man.
Did I just learn something new?
I hope you did.
Oh, okay.
Man, you're just educating yourself today.
No, so.
All right. Number 3. I am a sucker for the blackberry and
I'm sorry.
no, it's blackberry and chocolate chunk ice cream from Mitchell's. It's phenomenal. It is blackberry ice cream with chunks of chocolate in it.
I would assume so. I mean,
I
the
love
name
it.
kind of gave it away.
It's fantastic. If the name's not a dead giveaway, guys, I'm telling you, it's a very good one. Then number 2, dude, like, I mean, you're calling me out because I'm not a huge like chocolate fan, and I do tend to lean more towards the like fruit side.
You do. You are a little fruity.
I am
For sure.
But dude, give me like a good lemon like sorbet.
What are you?
I know,
like,
man. But if I see it at like a restaurant, like that's gonna be my go-to dessert. Like
Our street cred just like
I know it dropped
dropping.
tremendously.
Like,
I'm hoping I can bring
Jesus.
it home at the end because the last one is actually from Ben and Jerry's, and it's the Americone Dream.
Oh, that's
Ever
pretty
seen
solid.
the
Oh
Stephen
yeah.
Colbert
Oh, yeah.
one. It's got the
It's not
little
bad. Yeah.
ends of the drumstick cones inside of it. So like chocolate filled cones and like caramel and
Yeah,
yeah,
good
that
too.
one's
Yeah,
just a fat boy's wet dream. So like yeah, I'll sign me up for number 1 on that one. All right. Who's the first victim out of you two? Sean always likes to research and like get his
No, I'm
list
just-
set. I know I'm just messing with you.
I'm gonna get the questions right.
Yeah, I'll go. I got my 3.
All
All right,
right.
let's do it.
I got probably number 3 would be I think it's what's it called, peanut butter ribbon.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got the peanut butter stripes through it or whatever.
correct.
Hell yeah.
Number 2 probably Tillamook from Oregon. I'm an Oregon boy, so from Oregon Tillamook cookies and cream.
Oh okay.
And
very
then,
specific
mine-
cookies.
I like
my,
their
my number
cheese.
1 is Ben and Jerry's Chubby Hubby
Okay,
It's
classic.
got the pretzels, the peanut butter in it, and I love some peanut butter.
Yeah, that's a classic from Ben and Jerry's.
That'd be my 3.
Great choices. All right, lay it on us, Tony.
Well,
you're in like your ice cream prime right now.
I wish I could give you guys something good, but I'm so plain.
Are you okay?
I am very. So I mean, I guess I can go number 3. I love Neapolitan with
Oh, really?
All right.
Chocolate
See,
strawberry.
that's not plain. There's 3 flavors in that, my friend. All right. You could have easily just said vanilla or chocolate or strawberry there. You chose all 3.
That is true. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, I love vanilla ice cream. I can eat that any day.
Just plain old vanilla. See, he's talking about me losing street cred over here.
I guess I can put that as 2, and then I'm trying to think of a number 1.
All right, here I want you to not think. You're about to have a spoonful of your favorite ice cream. Close your eyes. What's gracing your tongue right now?
You know, you brought up mousse, and that kind of made me think about that.
Hey, it's a great choice. I won't disagree with you. That's why I honorably mentioned it, because it deserved that, right? So thank you for bringing it to a first spot. All right, Sean. It's time for your ice cream choices. Let's hear what you got.
Honorable mention to be dumb to leave off like a good vanilla bean. Right, because like I know. Thank
you for going a little over top of the vanilla, because the bean adds that much more vanilla to it. So, Tony, you missed out on that option. All right,
I did.
I would have also accepted French vanilla over just plain vanilla.
Correct.
Continue.
All right, so my number 3 is Ben and Jerry's half baked. All right, you get
Another
a little you get like some brownie, you get a little cookie dough, get a little bit of action. Also sticking with Ben and Jerry's. All right, the salted caramel core.
Oh yeah, that's another
just banger.
I mean, again, that's one that do you just eat around the entire outside and save
like
the huge caramel core?
What do you think this is?
It ain't your first rodeo.
My number 1 is
I think I've had that one.
It's a regional. Yeah. This last one's a regional one. It's my favorite place to go in summertime on vacation. It's in Cape Cod. It's called Sunday School. They have an ice cream called Mocha Crunch. Yeah, it's coffee ice cream with Oreo pretty much, and it's just the best thing ever.
It is bomb. I didn't want to go that specific.
I'm going that specific.
Yeah. Even though Mitchell's isn't really that like broad either, but
okay. So we had a few listener questions. I was just trying to peek at these right quick here. The first one is kind of confusing. All right, it says question for
let's ask it.
Question for Tony. I guess I'm just trying to follow the wording. Question for Tony Forbes: would you ever change sponsors because of another sponsor's bag performance?
No. I think these are the bags I've thrown the best with out of my 3 years for sure. I've thrown a few other bags, but I really don't have success with them. Throwing them in blind draws, throwing them in. I mean, I didn't even tried a few different bags in singles, and I don't have the same success.
Are you throwing the Guardian all the time?
Yeah. Okay. That's normally what I threw. I threw Wingmen for a while.
Okay.
The Wingman L's, the Wingman Lights, but I never really liked those because I tended to not push them very well. So, I mean, Guardians always ended up being the best for me. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't think I could go to another bag and throw the same I am right now.
I get it. You get that. It is odd because there are some players out there that it doesn't seem like what you give them they're gonna just find a way.
Yeah.
But then there are some players that are like if they have their little blankie with them, they're a motherfucker. But you take their blankie away, they're not that good. Or not that they're not that good, but they're not like at that elite level. You know what I mean? Brent, this one's for you. Do you have a favorite player that you sponsor?
No.
Okay, you love all your children the same.
I try to talk to all of them pretty regularly.
Okay.
There's a few that obviously out of sight, out of mind. Makes it a little more challenging, if I'm not seeing them regularly and anything else, but most of my players don't live anywhere near me. Closest I have is like Tony and Spencer, and those guys are all in Northern California, which is about 6-7 hour drive from me. And then, going across the country, I got a couple in Georgia, Nevada, New York, Arizona and so on. So
what do you expect out of your sponsored players? Like, obviously you want them to go out and perform well. Like that's a given.
I will tell you, I love it when they wear Bass Pro hats. And no, Tony, I'm just messing, dude. Tony's got his Bass Pro hat. So at the moment, I'm trying to figure out what hat.
Are you sponsored?
So I can put some Brotherhood Cornhole logos on him. No, he's not sponsored by Bass Pro. I asked him the same thing. I said, dude, what is up with your Bass Pro, man? Why is it got to be Bass Pro?
It's a look, man. It's
but
a cool
no,
thing.
I think, I would like them to wear my gear, of course, but they also have other sponsors. I'm one of those sponsors that knows I cannot be their only sponsor. These pros and everything else, I hope they are going and looking for other sponsors, because us bag makers, they think we're rich, and we are not. We are not rich,
You want to say that one more time just for everyone to hear?
Yeah, we are not rich. But I try to take care of my players the best as I can. My pros, I expect them to throw my bags, obviously, but I've also made it very clear, if you're throwing doubles, like Tony throwing with Quinn, for the pro shootout, they threw BG. I'm excited that Tony's even in the pro shootout, and that I'm excited that I get to be a sponsor. Yeah. Because guess what? In the end of the day, he's picking up my bags and throwing my bags. Him and Quinn's a BG player. And Quinn was more comfortable throwing BG. I talked to Quinn and I asked, if there's any chance they could throw Brotherhood Cornhole. He said he was more comfortable throwing BG. Okay, cool. But if you notice on the broadcast, we're in the background supporting like crazy, man. I love my players. I love our team. So, I want them to represent my company as if it's their own. That's what I ultimately try to put out there. If they're going to wear another t-shirt or something like that, cool. I'm okay with that. As long as you're throwing my bags. If you're playing singles, you better be throwing my bags if I sponsor. And if you're not, I'm okay. We can part ways. We can shake hands and have a great day. And there's not going to be any hard feelings. And, if you don't want to throw my bags, then that's okay. Then we just won't sponsor you, know? So, I am not one that's going to be scolding you and everything else. Obviously I want to be represented because that's how we grow.
Yeah.
But I also look at it as, I love this game, man. I love to play the game. I know what it's like to throw a bag. I love throwing bags. Me and Tony ran cash games all over a couple of my sponsored players all weekend this weekend. $30. And hey, Sal and Gio, you still owe us $30 a piece. Just want you guys to know. So, no, ultimately, I love the players and I support the players, and as long as they're good representatives and they're throwing my bags when they can, I get it when it's a blind draw or doubles. I would like them to try to find somebody that wants to throw Brotherhood, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And, we move on. So that's how I kind of carry it.
I don't think that Brotherhood's going to have an issue trying to find people anymore. I think you guys are now on the map officially. So I'm sure you're come free agency period. Sure. You'll get plenty of messages.
Suitors and people messaging you. It'll blow up.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. The amount of sponsorship.
It is.
I'm daily.
Listen, and
the amount of sponsorship requests.
It's tough for us because we have a Cornhole podcast. We're basically going after similar sponsorships as players.
Compete against the players. Pretty much.
It's just this fine balancing act because. I feel like there's a lot more pro players can do to get the brands out, but ultimately when it comes down to it, I think you hit the nail on the head. If they represent the company as if it was their own, you're going to see some sort of organic good things come out of that, regardless of the level of effort that's there. I feel like that's the bare minimum that somebody can offer.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I think that, like I said, if you're finding you got multiple sponsors and everything else, of course you're going to be wearing a Dirty Bags t-shirt or a hat or whatever. But, I'm a bag company, and as long as you're throwing my bags, when it comes time and it matters, you're playing singles or something like that, then that's ultimately what I'm asking for, and if you're not throwing my bags in a blind draw, and you're throwing somebody else's bags, well, then I hope you have my shirt on, you have my hat on or something, representing, hey, you are a Brotherhood Cornhole player. Because that, the more you see it, obviously, the more it's going to grow, right?
For sure.
So,
Tony, before we let you go, one more thing. So you're kind of in tune with the younger elite crowd, right? So leaving yourself off the list, give us some names of top elite guys that that Cornhole fans should kind of know the names and kind of keep an eye out for because you think that they have potential to do very well going forward.
So, obviously Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
We did very well. Spencer, another Brotherhood sponsor, been playing very well. His partner Jaden Ellis.
He's decent.
Zach Aiken from North Carolina. Trying to think of who else is. There's a lot of elite players, so this is really hard. Who was it? Brandon Patterson from Florida.
Okay.
He got me a couple times.
Okay. He's
playing very well right now. Landon Bass.
Yes.
From Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't know if Anthony Eastridge is elite or not, but
he is elite.
He can have.
He's the 18-year-old that looks like he's 30 something, right?
I know, right?
Yeah,
I think he's
right.
17.
It's crazy. Yeah, I know it's crazy. He's so young because that's the one that Nate Voyer was giving a hard time to, right, on the broadcast. That's what I thought. Yeah. He's an elite player for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to think. I know there is a lot. There's Dawson Manuel from North Carolina. North Carolina's stacked.
California's getting there too. You guys seem like you guys have a really good core of like young dudes.
I feel like a lot from Northern California, but
yeah.
I mean there are guys down there in Southern California that aren't elite that definitely could be elite. Like Ethan Farias, Emax we call him.
Okay.
I mean he just beat me in states this weekend.
Okay.
We had 2 really, really, really good games. And ultimately he came out and beat me. He did well in Las Vegas with his partner Julius Reyes. Ended up getting 2nd overall. Trying to think. I'm telling you, there are so many elite players. And there's a lot that I could give shout outs to, but off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
It's all good. No, I get it. No,
every last one of them is going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
For sure. I got you. Another one, Austin Waskow.
Oh, yeah. Texas. Yeah. I was going to say, I know that name.
He is very good too.
He's been around for a minute too, I think. I think he's been like kind of a name like for 2 or 3 years.
Barely missed pro.
Yeah.
He definitely could be a pro though.
Yeah, I know. Because I think he was on a broadcast for Texas. Was he on Texas?
He might. Yep. Yeah, I think
he was just on a broadcast. I watched one of his matches.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay. Like I was okay, because I hadn't heard the name in a minute, so that's interesting. So
yeah, he's very talented though.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. This has been a long time coming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Congratulations on your big pro shootout. Congratulations on Brotherhood's run and Best of the Bags. Like, it's like, we know it's like this dumb popularity contest, but it's still good to kind of see like
it shows,
who the cornhole community is backing. And if you're like a brand that people don't like to stand for, you're not going to get that backing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, thanks to like all the bots and everyone that voted, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It got a little crazy there at the end. I was like, oh, come on, man. You're looking at some of their profiles and you're like, that's not a person. Get out of here,
dude,
man. Get out of here.
And I still haven't figured out because it wasn't a bot. Somebody was going on and creating separate fake profiles just for the contest. So like it's hard. Like you can't report like
I can't believe they really took time to go in there and do
exactly. I'm like, you must be really bored doing that.
100%. Yes.
I surely wouldn't.
Yeah, correct. And it was only for like the contest because like then they were going on and voting for like other stuff and like they weren't even trying to hide
it. It was funny
like,
because we still ended up winning.
Yeah, I know. No, it was we like seeing when every year there's a dark horse team, right? There's always some sort of dark horse team that kind of comes on it. This year is you guys and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
The year before it was.
Yeah, I saw Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was doing pretty good.
Sub-Zero lost in the finals, to BG, who finally took it down. The year
where
before
were
that
they
was
were they out of Wisconsin.
Out of Texas,
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
No, Sub-Zero's out of Minnesota.
Yeah. Eddie's a really good dude. He's a very, very good dude.
Yeah.
Eddie, that's right. Yeah.
He used to do.
Are you guys coming out to the throwdown?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, we've never been there before, so this has been kind of our year. So we're not going to Worlds this year or any of that stuff.
Be a tournament you're going to look forward to.
I think so. It's just for us, like going across country, and then there's just a lot of hidden expenses, man. Like renting a car, because like from the airport you got to go. So we're just trying to figure out logistically, like, hey, like who are we staying with? Like, let's try to like be smart about this financially, because just like bag makers, as podcasters, we're also not rich. So so just wanted to put that out there as well. So just trying to budget all this stuff. But yeah, the plan is I have it cleared on the family schedule. Missing my daughter's first day of first grade. We didn't go last year because I couldn't miss first day of kindergarten or I might not be married anymore, so made that decision, stay home. So, but first grade doesn't matter, right? It's just like let's just go back.
Another
to school.
year, yeah.
You got,
Yep.
a lot more first days of school. I'll catch those
Got
later
about
on.
20
so.
more of these to look forward to.
Oh yeah. So, all right, boys, we'll have you hang on just for a second. We'll let the folks go at home. But again, so next week's episode is going. I'm out of town, so it's going to be Mark Pryor, Jeremiah Ellis, Devin Harbaugh, and Rich Norman. So you'll hear that interview. It's going to be a little weird because obviously, if Devin or Jeremiah ends up winning it,
they won't mention
we're not going to win it. So we'll have some fun. But I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back the week after that with like a full recap and all that stuff. And so as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it
later.